Just comb your hair, go and wash your face. It's been a real long time since you've seen the light of day. So let thoughts come as they may, beauty and parade. Everybody all smiles when you're back in the seat again. All aboard the Betty Express to a beautiful darkness. It's full steam ahead to ride the rails to our next destination. Yeah!
Daggone it. Let's see if Stacy's got it going on. Like, her mom, which, considering she's been found guilty, doesn't look like she found it or at any point, but let's hope that she found it at some point. Gotta love that I don't realize that I'm muted. That being said, I was trying to learn yet another anime that my boys really like, My Hero Academia. Y'all, can I just say that some of these ideas, I hope there was a large amount of, I don't know, let's just say devil's lettuce involved when they made these particular things up. As always, when muted, just talk louder. So I am trying to learn another anime because my boys now have realized that I may not understand what I'm watching, but if I'm finally watching something that they like, they have like a list of all the animes they want to watch with me now. And I was like, but don't you just want to watch Sailor Moon? No, they don't. They, in fact, don't want to watch Sailor Moon. They want to watch all these boys' animes that I'm going to have to learn now. But we are over here trying to figure out where Hosana and Stacy, well, when they first decided they were going steady, I believe is where we were kind of at in her testimony. So we've got Stacy and Hosana somewhat going steady.
When at that point, were you still seeing other people?
Slightly.
Okay. When you did find out that Hosana had a husband, common law, but somebody that she referred to as her husband, is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. When you found out that she did have this family and she had 3 kids, how did that make you feel?
I kind of just laughed it off. Like, I didn't really care.
Why didn't you care?
I don't know. I didn't.
Just didn't
have.
care.
Yeah, I just didn't.
Okay. When you guys started then being in a relationship, did that ever become a point where you cared that she was with a husband and kids and also with you?
Well, she had told me that she didn't want to be with him before me and her, like, made it, I don't want to say, like, official, but, like.
Okay, so you two got going steady. She was wearing your varsity sweater jacket, and you laughed off that she was married with children, but then you were going steady and you were like, don't go back to your husband. I'm confused if you two were even dating that you knew of, because y'all are seeing, everyone. I mean, at this point, you're getting condoms for her to go over and see Javi. Who knew? Who knew?
Yeah.
Okay. So was Miss Varela then telling you that she didn't want to be with her husband anymore?
Give me just a second. I'll allow that question.
Was Miss Varela telling you then, when you guys were all together, that she wanted to leave her husband? And was she telling you she wanted to be with you? I can
I'll
rephrase.
allow the question.
Okay. Do you want me to say it again?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
that's all right. Did Miss Varela tell you that she wanted to leave her husband and essentially leave her husband for you?
Not necessarily for me, but she already wanted to leave him before me and her were even on that kind of road.
Okay. So for you, was it a big deal that she still had a husband with kids?
No, I didn't care.
Okay, you didn't care. That's okay.
Defense, you should have talked to your witness and said, hey, now I know it doesn't bother you none, for cereals, but you know, pretend that you're a little upset that your girlfriend's being what we like to call a hoe, you know. But I love that the defense and her have probably talked about this for years now, and it's just a slow pitch. It's like, okay, were you upset that Hosana was going out with, you know, her boyfriend? And Stacy was like, no. And the defense is like, damn it. You had two options, yes or no, and you could have said yes.
She talked a little bit about, and I don't want to get into October 2nd quite yet, but she did mention that you guys were at Cubetta's and Javi was there. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Did you see him there?
Yeah, I did.
Did you care?
No.
Did you talk to him?
No.
No. Why not?
It's just awkward. Then a lot of people were coming up to us like, "Did you see Javi?" I'm like, yeah. But it was just like,
Yeah. Why do you think people were coming up to you and saying, "Did you see Javi?"
because it's just awkward. When you go out and you see your ex there, like, and you're with somebody that you're with, it's just like an awkward situation in general. I feel,
Yeah.
That
Did you ever
Dissy
meet
cup
Javi?
is awkward.
I think not. I don't really like know him, but I did get to meet him a few times.
Okay. What were those interactions like?
They were pretty good. Honestly, they were pretty good.
He
Any
was
kind of
super
hostility
happy
between
I
you
was
two?
dating his wife.
Well, I mean, I would assume that he didn't like me, but I mean, he didn't act no type of way in front of me or nothing.
You said you assumed he didn't like you. Why do you assume that?
Because Hosana would tell me
Okay. What would she say?
that he didn't like me.
Okay. Did she tell you why?
Well, he didn't like me even before me and her were on that kind of like tip.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Did you ever ask?
No, I would kind of just laugh. I was already kind of used to like, like, oh, okay, like,
Yeah,
And
used to what?
welcome
Like,
Squid Raiders.
I guess like people having that kind of, I don't want to say like, just like people like just thinking something like just because.
They were racist against lesbians. They were homophobic. Today, Junior, today, for God's sakes.
I'm like a female that's not very like feminine and stuff like that. So they're always like, yeah, I don't know.
Can you say that again? Something, I'm not sure I heard you clearly, but something about feminine, being feminine.
Yeah, so like I feel like that like played a lot to like because he didn't know me, like me and her like struck as friends, and that's when they didn't like me. This was before any of that happened. I don't know if he had a reason not to trust her or like, but I think it's because like I'm not very like feminine.
So you think Javi's base disliking you was that you're not girly? It wasn't that you were trying to hone in on his woman? I feel like, what is going on here? I mean, I guess I could imagine that, when you sleep with another guy's wife, he could not like you as well.
So I feel like it's obvious that I don't like that I like girls.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you and Javi ever get into arguments?
No.
Did you ever argue with Hosana about Javi?
No.
Were you ever frustrated that she was with Javi?
No. Like cheating.
Yeah.
I mean, no. I kind of just felt disrespected, so I didn't say like frustrated, but I would just be like, damn, like embarrassed, kind of.
Okay. Tell us about the disrespect. Why did you feel disrespected?
I don't know, cause like I just never got like how like she would like tell me I couldn't do something, but she was over there like.
Okay. What?
These are books. They're actually Mr. Moe's books, so I think they're the entire Wheel of Time book series. I have stolen Mr. Moe's room as he works on remodeling downstairs. So I think they're the entire, whatchamacallits. That and Halo and other books that, look, I'm sorry, you guys. I tried to read one of his books, but there was not a man in leather pants without a shirt on in front. And I didn't even know how one reads a book without a semi-shirtless man on the front. I don't know how one reads a book like that. I mean, I was told, I even asked Mr. Moe, I was like, is there romance in any of these? And he said no. And I'm like, then why do you read them? They're like 600 pages and no one gets naked? I don't know how you're doing that, but okay.
would she go and do that she would say you couldn't do?
Just everything.
Can you give us an example?
Cheat, be with other people, hang out with other people, like just everything.
Do you feel that she limited your ability to go out with other people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just one moment, Ms. Rodriguez. I'm just going to grab something from that table. Okay.
Okay.
Stacy, I'm going to show you what's been previously admitted as Defense Exhibit RR and SS.
I don't know, but I don't trust that SS, defense work.
Your Honor, permission to approach.
Yes, go ahead.
Stacy, take a minute and look through those.
Okay, yeah.
Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. I can take them back. I might ask you just some questions about it rather than have to read them if that works.
Yeah.
Okay. So in these RR and SS, these were
pick your
Facebook
nose,
messages between you and
right?
Hosana?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. And did Hosana ask you in these, where are you drinking at?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you say, like, why are you so worried?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Was it because she was with Javi?
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't remember,
I kind of don't remember.
that's okay. That's
what-
okay. Here you go. No problem.
Okay.
Good God.
So
Jesus.
you say, like, why are you worried about it? Because you're with Javi, right?
Yeah, I do believe maybe it was him. Yeah.
Could it have been somebody else?
Yeah.
Okay. Why could it have been somebody else?
The assassination going on for Hosana. I mean, I think we gathered to, well, horrifying, levels that Hosana may not be the most faithful. But I love how they just threw in that, look, like it might not even have been Javi. Like, we don't know which guy she was doing. Yeah, do love that they're like, and could you tell us anything bad about Hosana? And she's like, well, look, she was kind of a slut, but I mean, I didn't mind because I think everything's funny. I like to giggle a lot. I'm an optimist.
Because she bees with a lot of people.
Okay. And this was while you all were together,
Yeah.
while you weren't seeing anybody else.
She bees with a lot of people. It's not Shakespeare, but if that is not a line in the next, Othello, if she bees with a lot of people is not, a new Shakespearean line, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I was not.
Okay. So we'll put a pin in that just for a minute. Let's keep with these. So you say, why are you worried? You're with like somebody else. And does she send you then in response, a text message or a Facebook message that says like a pukey face? Saw
Oh.
your snap.
Yeah.
And then what snap? Do you remember what that was?
I was just hanging out with one of my friends.
And did you put a Snapchat out of you hanging out with your friends?
Yeah. Just one friend.
Okay, just one friend.
Yeah.
And what do you say in response to that?
Not enough.
After that snap,
After she says like the pukey face.
oh, I put one in your purse.
Okay. And what did you put in her purse?
A condom.
Okay. Now go to the next exhibit. And what do you say?
Me? After them?
Yeah.
After she responded to that last message?
Yeah. After it was so yeah. Let's back up. So you say
This is
put
going
one in your purse,
swimmingly
and then
for
what
the
did she say?
defense.
She said, "Thank you, love. We have."
Jesus. What are you asking me about? Well, the crime for which you are, being accused today. That would be what I'm talking to you about right now.
Have some.
And what did you said you put a condom in her purse?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what did you say after she said, "Thank you, love. We have some."
I said, "Great. Don't be petty. We just friends, and that's maybe. You made your choice earlier, so don't give me shit."
Okay. What did you mean by? Well, one, why'd you put a condom in her purse?
So she don't get pregnant again.
Was it more of a
To be
joke?
careful. Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny.
It's like the king's cake. Every lesbian puts a condom in their purse, and whoever comes home without the condom gets to have the next baby. It is Fat Tuesday.
Okay.
At that moment, yeah.
Okay, yes. Did you mean it in a way? So did you mean it? Were you trying to control her?
I was just telling her to like be careful in a sense. You know, if you're gonna cheat, at least do it carefully.
Okay, because it could come back and affect you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you
Stacy's
told
getting
her,
pregnant.
you know, something about her being upset and you saying, you know, like, we're just friends. Why did you say that?
I just said that to clarify, like that she had no reason to be mad or feel no type of way because we were just friends.
Okay. Would Hosana often get upset if you were hanging out with other people?
Yeah,
How often would she do that?
like all the time.
Did that change the way you interacted with other people?
Yeah, it was like more like awkward. Like I always had to like watch myself.
What do you mean by watch yourself?
Well, for when I couldn't really hang out with people by myself, so she would always like come with me. So it was like more awkward. Like I couldn't like overly like laugh or like just laugh in general. But like I always had to sit next to her. So it did like impact a lot of how I was.
Okay. I want you to kind of maybe break that down a little bit for the jury. When you said you couldn't really laugh, what do you mean?
Like she would take it as like flirting and stuff.
Okay. If you were laughing at what somebody else said,
Oh yeah, or with them or like.
did you guys have mutual friends?
Not really. I didn't really hang out.
You didn't really have a lot of other friends.
No, I was just kind of just very few people.
You saw Miss Alfaro testify, Karen.
Yeah,
She one of your friends?
yeah,
One of the friends you've had for a while?
yeah,
And is that usually how you are with your friends, where it's people you've known for a long time?
yes.
Okay. Did you ever hang out with Hosana and her friends?
Sometimes.
What was that like?
It's just I just kind of just was there. I would just kind of stand there.
Is that usually what you would do in social interactions?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you even act that way sometimes with your own family?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. It just is the way that I am.
Okay. So thinking of these
So thus far, we've learned that like she and Stacy don't make like a, don't make an issue about what their label in the relation dateship is because most people don't know that she likes women. It was a big shock for a lot of people in the community when she started dating, Hosana. But, she doesn't really mind if Hosana goes out and she hangs out with Javi because she hangs out with people and she likes to laugh, but not really laugh, but sometimes laugh when she's with her family. Sure. Okay, this is going great. Not to mention the fact that defense is trying to get her to talk about Hosanna being controlling and aggressive. And she's just like, no, like, I just do my own thing. Even the slow pitches are. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Like, I just like, it was all funny and stuff, but like, stuff. We have learned so much, you guys. We have broken the case.
messages.
And she's doing it again.
Did you ever tell Hosanna that she couldn't go hang out with her friends?
No, I didn't.
Did you ever want to?
What?
Did you ever want to?
Tell her she can go hang out with her friends?
That she couldn't.
Oh no.
So it sounds like
Actually, justice is a process. They don't add any of their own commentary, but they have been cleaning up the audio a bit for this particular trial, and we are using their no breaks, so they went ahead and edited out all the breaks. So I will say, justice is a process, is a great, if you don't want any commentary on it, but you want to be able to hear, they did a lot with making this trial easier to hear.
at one point you decided that you were not seeing anybody else. Fair to say?
Yeah.
Why? Why did you decide that you weren't going to see anybody else?
Well, it was like official without release. It was like I feel like a mutual agreement, but it wasn't like announced. I feel, but it was we both under.
But she still slept with other people.
Oh yeah.
So was it really a mutual agreement?
Well, she said it was. So I'm like,
Mutual-ish.
Did it feel like it was a mutual agreement?
for a while until she kind of, yeah.
Okay. If you were the one that wanted to just be with her and it was a mutual agreement that you thought y'all had and you weren't seeing anybody else and she continued to do that, did that never make you mad?
I would feel like I would try to justify a lot of what she would do, just because I did love her, and like somebody that you love, you don't ever really want to see like the bad in. So I would kind of like it would like, I'd be like, oh, like, yeah.
Did she ever give you reasons or say
What?
something for you to justify that?
What do you mean?
Did she ever, like you were saying, right? I try to justify it. You love somebody, and I think that's
Okay, you guys, have we just met the female Latina variant of Boomhauer from King of the Hill? Because, I mean, that was like a quick, fast, in a hurry sentence for like, I just thought I was going to like defend what she would say because that is kind of like what I would do and then giggle. But I believe we might have run into the Latina sibling of Boomhauer.
makes sense. But did she ever say? I guess. Well, did you ever confront her and say, "Stop sleeping with all these other people"?
Eventually, yeah, like further on in the relationship, like I did.
How did she respond to that?
Eventually.
She kind of like was like the whole like for Javi, for example, like it was like she was like, "Oh, I just was with him for a long time," and I was like, "You're right." I was like, and that's when I told her I was like, "You should, I think he's right. You talk to me like he's always gonna be in your life. Like he's the father of your kids. Like I completely understand."
Okay. Did you ever want them to get closure?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, I feel like I tend to like a lot of times like put
I have a feeling sleeping with someone to get closure is not the way that this is supposed to work out. That being said, Hosanna, I think you're supposed to get under someone else to get over. Isn't it get over someone by getting under someone else? But I think that you're supposed to not be in multiple different unders. But that's just
put myself in other people's shoes.
Okay.
So like I can imagine how you felt like this. They were together for a long time. They had kids and like the whole thing, and like me coming into the relationship at like 18, 19 years old. Like, and then just that little like I'm younger than them. And then like also with me being a girl, like I in some sense like I feel like I imagine it would hurt his ego as well. Like it would affect him like mentally and stuff like that. Like,
Did
Hosana
she
talked a
just
lot
say
about,
mentally or
you being
mantally?
jealous and you confronting people, you not liking what she was doing at bars. Is that true?
no,
Did any of that ever happen?
like what part?
Of you controlling her?
No,
Did you ever tell her that she, if she wanted to go out on a Friday night and drink, did you ever say, no, you can't do that?
no, I never told her that.
If she wanted to go out, did you ever say, that's fine, but I'm coming with you?
No,
Why do you think she would have said that on the stand?
I don't know.
Calls for speculation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Was there ever a point that you guys kind of got in an argument about this stuff?
You guys, I'm going straight to hell, but I am waiting for her to Hulk smash that Dixie cup and be like, hell no, Hosanna. Not one more again will you spurn my love. I'm waiting for that Dixie cup to bite it. Like, she's just going to get emotional and it's just going to go crunk.
No, because I would never tell her that.
Okay. Did you want
I
her to leave
believe
Javi to
you.
be with you?
No.
Okay. Why not?
I had told her she was leaving. I was like, I like at first, even after we had like did stuff, I had told her she was like talking about more, obviously like got more comfortable to express her feelings. She's like, I just don't want to be with him. And I was like, maybe you should try it out, like talk to him, like take more time to yourself. So I kind of like even tried to like encourage her staying with him.
How did you feel when she acted upon your advice?
She really did. She did it for a while. She like left him, like this whole thing happened. I was like, and then further along is when I had told her, I was like, let's have a talk with him. Like that's always gonna be the father of your kids, like. And then it led to a lot more. So I was like, oh.
Tell us what it led to.
She was started cheating on me with him.
Did that make you upset?
It threw me off. But like at that moment, like I
Okay,
feel like I was so
actual-
like, naive, so like
Real question. If Hosanna was in a relationship with Javi first, and technically she cheated on Javi with Stacy, then could she I don't think she could cheat with Stacy, or cheat on Stacy with Javi. Or is cheating transitive? Like, can you cheat from both, inside the parentheses and outside of the parentheses in this math equation? Because I feel like if you stole a dude's wife from him, I don't know that her going back to said dude is cheating. I feel like we need a mathematician. Oh, apparently, oh, good lord. Okay, well, Lefty, apparently there is just a whole genre I was not aware of.
Like, it was okay to me at the moment, you know?
Okay. Now thinking back on it, right? It's been at least 4 years. Can you think back maybe on a time where maybe you did snap at her and say, essentially, this is nonsense. You're disrespecting me. Stop.
Yeah, I had brought it up like that one time when that I just explained.
Yeah.
But that was really about it. Like I really, because I feel like, yeah, I do have like a lot like social anxiety, but like I am like very like secure with like myself. Like I know, you know, like I feel, like I'm secure with myself.
Did you ever threaten Javi?
No,
Did you ever threaten his life?
no, I did not.
Did you ever verbally accuse him of something?
No,
Did you ever send him any angry text messages?
no,
Did you ever sit outside of his house?
no,
Did you ever stalk Hosana outside of his house?
no, I did not.
Did you ever say, hey, I'm waiting for you, get out here?
No.
Okay. If I could just have one moment, I'm going to grab something else from the table, okay?
Oh, okay.
I know this is so terrible because I'm trying to fight this band camp thing. Oh, and we're just letting her lick her lips like a lizard because that's a good thing.
Exhibits with you, okay? I'm gonna show you first People's 208 and 205. Your Honor, permission to approach?
Yes, go ahead.
Those, okay? So 205, I think, is that the big text message on the photo? Or is that 208? Can you see that at the bottom?
Yes, it's 205.
205, okay. And then 208, does that kind of show like a printout with some dates where that, like, assuming that's where that text was sent?
Yeah.
Okay. If you go down, let's look here. So there's the created, assessed, modified date. Do you see those?
Yeah.
Okay. The created and the assessed date, is that January 4th, 2022?
Yeah.
And then does that modified date, is that from November 2nd, 2021?
Yeah.
Okay. You were arrested November 11th, 2021, right?
Yeah, I was.
Okay. So that text message, assuming, was sent before then, right?
Yeah.
You didn't send that text message, or did you send that text message in January 2022? Or did you send it in 2021? Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
Okay, that's okay.
No, she doesn't.
If we're looking,
Jesus. This defense attorney, this is basically like Mr. Mo asking me anything about computering. But this is almost cringe hilarious to a point because they're like, oh, you didn't text her from jail. And Stacy's like, I don't know. It sounds like something I would do. I did try to write her letters in jail. I mean, I did not write her any letters in jail.
we've got the created and the created and the assessed date, right? Okay, that says January 4th, 2022. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then were you in jail January 4th, 2022?
The crayons
You
needed.
were arrested on November 11th, 2021?
Yeah.
Okay, do you see what I'm saying now?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
No, don't apologize. So then we see the modified date. Does that say November 2nd, 2021?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to say that likely these texts would have been sent November 2nd, 2021,
Yeah.
not in January 2022.
No.
Okay, so let's talk about this.
Now that we've got
In
that
that
all
text
figured
message-
out.
Can you read, I guess, what you're saying in that?
Yeah.
Would you mind?
Can you read?
She.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, so did Hosana say, and you have the other printout if it's helpful. Okay, did Hosana say, oh my gosh, or OMG, LOL?
Yeah.
And you responded, the first message says, so in my head, you not taking the ring off mean you FWM. So yeah, you're not single no more. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, what does FWM?
It means fuck you mean.
Fuck you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
And then
I thought it would be F with me, like you F with me now. I mean, now granted, I am the most down with the cool kid lingo that there has ever been lingoology, invented. But F with or FWM would be F with me now, like you're effing with me now, which I guess is lesbian married in cool kid speak. But I mean, Stacy, you're the only one who knows what these things mean. Why am I having to figure this out?
it says, you say again, I come with a lot of things, right? And you say attention. Do you say love? Do you say tickles? Okay, and I'm so sorry, you're gonna have to say yes into that microphone.
Yes.
Okay. Do you say support?
Yeah.
And then do you say, I'll kill an MF for you?
Yeah.
And then do you end it with like 6 feet under?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what you were thinking, what was going through your mind, if you remember sending this text message?
I do remember sending it.
Okay, yeah, what were you thinking? Were you threatening her?
No, I was just. That's just. Do you want me?
Tell us what you were thinking, yeah.
Okay, that's just the. I wasn't like really like thinking. That's just like the way that I feel like I like express love in a sense. Like me and my family are like that.
In what way? Like, what did you say that is how you and your family express kind of affection toward each other?
The last 2 messages.
I'll kill an MF for you?
Yeah.
Okay, like 6 feet under?
Yeah.
Is this stuff you say often?
Yeah.
You've, have you been, do you chat with your family?
Must really add threats of mass homicide to my daily notes for my kids in their lunchboxes, like, love you, will kill an MF for you. Although, to be fair, considering I did let one of my kids go in with my post-it note of notes about this case in his homework, so the teacher had assumed that we had already killed an MFer, buried him. That being said, threats of homicide never it that's what my family have been missing in my, I love you notes. It's the threats of homicide.
Over the last few years?
Yes.
Okay. Do you still say the same things to them now?
Yeah.
When you said, I'll kill an MF for you, were you referring to Mr. Dickerson?
No, I was not.
Do you remember what this conversation was about at the time?
No.
Okay, that's all right. Do you remember her taking off the ring?
You
I
got
think she
her a
had said she
ring?
was gonna, but I don't think she did.
Okay. Do you remember arguing about this stuff?
Not about this thing, but it might have been about something else.
Okay. When you said, I come with a lot of things, attention, love, tickles, support, were you trying to make her stay with you?
No, it was kind of just like a thing we would do.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Like, you know how like on the TV, like there's like advertisements and stuff, like, yeah, it was kind of just like something we would do. Like it was like cute.
Okay. I apologize. Can you explain to me what you mean by the TV advertisements?
Like they would be like, if you buy this, it comes with this, and that.
I see. Okay. So you were saying,
Oh, so there was a logical sort of framework by which you came up with this. Because when you just said, oh, you know how there's like stuff on TV? Now, I get not, explaining my thoughts coherently to other people. So I kind of get that, but what the hell were you? This is going swimmingly. Innocent. This woman wouldn't stab anyone because, she lightly gives, declarations of love with threats of homicide, as you do.
I come with all these things. Don't you want to buy me, essentially?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And same
No.
thing of, I love
No,
you
we
so
don't.
much, like 6 feet under.
Yeah.
Okay. I can take that back from you. All right, now I want to show
Okay,
you
that
what's been
Dixie
marked as
cup
people's
can't have
exhibit.
any water in it. Look, she is drinking. That Dixie cup is out of water. So that she's the Ron Popeil of love. But wait, there's more. This slap chap. or slap chop, slap a chap too. I mean, I think slap a chap would have gotten this. This is going terribly.
But 232. Can I have standing permission to read?
Yes, you can.
All right, do you remember seeing this photo earlier in the trial?
Yes, I did.
And is this a text message where it looks like it involves you sending a photo of outside an apartment complex? Or what is that photo?
I think that's our baby daddy's house.
Javi?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you there?
I don't know if it's a house, but it kind of looks like his car a little bit.
Okay. Do you ever go to Javi's house?
Every now and then, like slightly, like
Why would you go there?
sometimes I would drop off, or we would drop off the kids, or like pick them up, or like
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Let's think about that. When you and Hosana were together, did you ever move in with her?
yeah.
Okay. What apartment? If you don't have the address, that's okay. But do you remember what apartments they were? Like where they were?
I remember where they're at, but I don't remember what they're called.
That's okay. Can you give us like the street?
So on 23rd, there's a middle school called I think it's a middle school.
Okay.
It's called Heath.
Oh, okay.
But there's also on the street, like kind of like diagonally across, there's like a Wells Fargo. So they're like in front of those two places, there's a apartment complex. I want to say like 5 or 6 buildings.
Okay. Were these the same apartment complexes that Karen was testifying about earlier today?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And were you living at one point with Hosana there?
Okay, I know it's a little bit ridiculous, but I feel a little seen because she gives directions the way I give directions, which is like, okay, you're gonna go, and it's like across the street from like the old Kmart, but it's not. Okay, so there's 2 old Kmarts, and it's gonna be the one next to the new taquitos place. Okay, which are really good, by the way, but they hurt my diet. Anywho, you're gonna go by there, and then over there, there's this weird guy that stands in front of the bank. You know, the guy with the flip-flops and the sign about Jesus. Okay, you're gonna turn away from him towards, you know, the lady who has a bunch of flat plastic flowers around her house. And then right over here in front of the woman with the lovely troll decorations is going to be my house. I mean, to be fair, Stacy, I get you. I tell directions just like you. Although I do remember the apartments where I've stayed. So I do remember their names too. It's just exactly how I would give it directions as well.
There?
Yeah.
Was that where she lived with Javi before?
Yeah.
And so he moved out.
Yeah.
And then you would go, the way you figured out kind of where Javi was living was that because you would drop?
I'll sustain the objection. Ms. Trejo, if you want to rephrase.
Okay. Did you learn that this was Javi's house because you would drop the kids off?
Yeah.
I'll allow the question.
Okay. So yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember this text message at all?
I don't.
Do you have any recollection of why you would be outside Javi's house telling her to hurry up?
No.
Okay. Did you ever just pick her up from Javi's house?
I picked up a few times, but it was like not this.
Okay. Would you ever get upset if Hosana wasn't on time?
No, like I would
Yeah, keep going.
I would always like so like I feel like girls in general always take forever to get ready. So like let's say we had like a something at 8. Like I'll be there at 7, but I'm really gonna be there at 8, you know? So it ends up like
Is Stacy unintentionally becoming based? Are we gonna agree on? Okay, look, I know it takes a while for me to get ready. Am I starting to agree with Stacy? Like, look, I just know Hosana. I'm gonna need to tell her an hour ahead of time because she's gonna be doing her hair.
I kind of just
You should
because
have.
I'm used to it with like my sisters like that, my mom, you know,
Okay.
like
So was there ever a time where you said, essentially, this is ridiculous. Get out of the house. I'm waiting for you. I'm pissed.
no, I never said that.
Okay. I'll take that back from you. Thank you.
Oh, well, this is diet pop, but yeah, with Stacy with the Dixie cup, we'd all be dead.
Okay. So were you 18 years old when you met Hosana?
Yeah, I was.
And then when we're thinking of October 2021, were you 19 years old?
Yeah, I was.
Was your relationship with Hosana the first serious relationship you had?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you date other people before?
It would be like slight things, but I was always never like I would just
Is it casual?
yeah.
Were you ever exclusive with somebody else before?
What?
Were you ever exclusive with somebody else before? Like,
Jesus.
I'm not seeing anybody else, you're not seeing anybody else kind of exclusive?
no.
No. Okay. Hosana's the first one.
Yeah.
Did this heifer just have to be explained what going steady was, like what exclusive means? Disband the Federal Department of Education yesterday. I blame them for all of this.
So you said, a few months of friendship, you start to develop feelings. Kind of walk us through that timeline of when you start to develop feelings with Hosana, and how long after you guys started seeing each other did you move in?
I want to say maybe it was like 2 to 3 months.
Okay. And this was was this the first time that you ever moved out of your family's house?
Yeah, away from my mom.
Okay, away from your mom?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you and your mom pretty close?
Yeah.
When you were working at JBS and you were 18, were you still in high school?
No,
No. Why not?
I dropped out.
When?
I want to believe it was my freshman year of high school.
Did you ever get
I
your GED?
believe with your grammar,
Why did you drop out of
yes.
school?
I dropped out of school to work full time and to take care of my mom.
Why did you have to do that?
Which one?
Objection calls for sympathy, Your Honor.
Ms. Trujillo, any response?
Yes, Ms. Varela had testified that she wasn't close with her family.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Alrighty. When you started dating Hosana, was there ever any kind of tension between you and your family, the fact that you were with her?
Well, they didn't like her.
What happened?
She was just like a lot of things played into it, I feel.
Can you give us an example?
Like the whole fact that she was like older than me, and she had like this whole life already, like
Yeah.
like the kids and stuff like that. And then she would like always be drinking and stuff like that. That's not like something that I would do. So it kind of would like my family be seeing me be with somebody that's like that was like that's all together, like yeah.
Okay. You didn't really like grow up around drinking?
My brother would drink, but nobody else really drinks like that. No.
Okay. Let's talk about your brother for a second.
Yeah,
I think we
your
heard
brother.
yesterday that Ms. Varela said that you had family members that went to prison.
One brother.
Is this the brother we're talking about?
Yeah.
What did he go to prison for?
DUI.
Okay. So he would drink.
Yeah.
Did that affect him going to prison for DUI? Did that affect how you would drink?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I try to always like stay away from it because of that. Because like I, obviously like experienced firsthand what it could lead to, and like I just didn't see like really good out of it. So I was like,
Was it also a factor that you were 18?
oh yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
And if it's not, that's okay. I'm just asking.
Yeah. Well, I feel like everyone always drinks when they're young, but like that's not really something I think I ever really liked.
Okay. What was it like when you were living with Hosana and her kids? Did you like being around her kids?
Yeah, I did like her kids, but it was a lot different.
Tell me about that.
So I'm just because obviously like me and my mom are like close. I'm always like used to like just like certain things was like obviously a lot different. Like I wasn't used to like the full responsibility. Like I would more like
Did you have kids of your own?
no.
Okay. What kind of responsibilities did you have with her kids?
Like I had to cook and stuff.
Okay. How often?
Pretty often.
Daily?
Yes.
Yeah, it's called
why did you
breakfast,
have to
lunch, and
cook?
dinner.
Because she wouldn't.
Were you ever alone with her kids?
Yeah.
How often?
Pretty often.
Do you like kids?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy your time with them?
Sometimes it was overly stressful because it's not something that I was used to. So, but it was majority like it was fine. Like
Okay. Did you have, besides cooking for them, any other typical duties you would help out with the kids in the house?
A couple times I had to change her daughter's diaper.
Your daughter was pretty young and in diapers at the time.
Yeah.
Now, let's kind of jump forward. So this was, generally throughout your relationship. When we're in October, were you still seeing your kids?
October. Yeah, I was.
Okay. Where were you living in October?
With my sister-in-law.
Okay. Where was Hosana living?
Nowhere.
Okay. Would she stay with you sometimes?
No, my sister didn't like her, so she would let her sleep in the truck, cause she would like somewhat kind of stay at her mom's and her grandma's, but not all the time did they want her there.
Okay. And when you say sleep in the truck, is this your truck?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Tahoe?
Yes.
Do you always refer to the Tahoe as a truck?
Yeah.
Do you ever say whip?
No.
Okay. So I want to go into the
I'm going to
drinking.
say X to
Any more water?
doubt.
Yeah.
Guys, can we actually approach?
Sure.
No, you're doing a swimming job already, getting her to talk about not wanting to drink too much, but she drank for forever and
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And you had said that she would just do it often. It's just kind of what she did.
Yeah.
How would she take your phone?
She was grab it with her.
Okay.
Your Honor, now would be an appropriate time for the limiting instruction.
Okay, I'm sorry. Give me just a moment. Do you have a copy of the limiting instruction? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Give me just a second here. The limiting instruction I read previously. I want to remind you that evidence presented regarding prior acts of abuse between Ms. Rodriguez and Ms. Varela is being presented only for the limited purpose for you to consider the evidence discussed regarding failure to report the crimes prosecuted in this matter. You may not consider that evidence for any other reason. All right, Mr. Hio, go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay, so it looks like we are going to get Stacy alleging that Hosana, laid hands or there was domestic violence going the other way around as well. I was not shocked by this. The defense for the whole time has been sort of showing or wanting to paint Hosana as not only the older of the two in the relationship, but the much more worldly with a lot more problems and possibly the mastermind of the whole thing. Having watched both of these two women on the stand, I find it harder to come up with anything other than these two women were, looking for something somewhere else to drink, and they figured they could go to this guy's house, and then when they realized there was no one else there, they could rob him. Now, do I believe that we know the full story of what happened that night? No. But a robbery that went wrong versus Christopher Dickerson, scaring Stacy to the point that she had to do, self-defense by stabbing him 5 times with a metal file. No. Do I think what Hosana said was the truth fully? No. So unfortunately, it probably just went that they were trying to rob this man and they killed him when he fought back. And thank you, Thunder. I'm going to go ahead and call that Cahoot Thunder because that's all I can think about your name, which I love. So thank you so much for the tired emoji sticker. And yes, we are. Though you guys are kicking behind on your super chats. We've got most of the red part filled up with your tags. Can't wait till I get my little, cork board back once my room is back up in order. Hopefully faster than Stacy gets to a point. But, it is what it is.
So she would she just kind of grab your phone and she held it?
Yeah, she would like put it in her pocket or in her purse.
And was that pretty standard for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you ever worried about it?
No.
So when we were looking at that message, right?
Yeah.
It looked like you had said something along the lines of, it's either Javi or it's going to be me. Do you remember that? Seeing that text in there?
Yeah, I remember seeing the picture of it.
What was that about?
I don't know. I didn't send it.
Okay. Do you have any reason to think about where this may have come from?
I feel like it was her.
Okay. Did she do
Wait a
stuff like that
minute.
before?
Objection waiting.
I'll allow the question.
Would she do that stuff before?
Kind of like somewhat like she would like I'll get a message from like one of my like family members and she'll like just message back.
Okay.
And I'll be like, what? When did this happen? But it was kind of like it didn't really matter to me then.
Okay. You said it didn't matter to you then. Did it ever matter to you?
Well, I
Did
didn't know about stuff
anything
like
matter to you at all?
Was that the first time you had seen this?
that. Yeah, during Discovery was the first time that I've ever seen it.
Let's go back. I want to talk about your drinking. You had said earlier, regardless of the fact you were 18, right?
Yeah.
But drinking wasn't really a big thing for you, correct?
No, yeah.
Did you start drinking a little bit more when you were with Hosana?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, well, how? Why?
I don't know, she kind of made me feel like I was kind of like immature, not like immature, but like young. Like the fact I didn't like it.
What didn't you like about drinking?
I didn't like the taste of it.
What would you guys drink?
She would like, it was like the harder bottles.
Hard alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay. Like vodka?
And then Crown Royal and Jim Beam.
Um,
And
did you ever
yes,
go drink
happy
with Hosana?
Shamrock
did.
Shake Day.
Why did you do that if you didn't like it?
Kind of just did it because like she would do it, so I'd be like, oh, you know, like, all right. Like, I'm not. She would like tell me I was like a baby. So I was like,
She called you a baby?
yeah, like a child.
Did you feel pressure to drink
Slightly, yeah,
by Hosana?
yeah.
Did you ultimately get kind of more comfortable drinking?
I would get like a lot of anxiety and stuff like that because I originally already have like a lot, so that would kind of like I, yeah, just give me more.
Okay. Drinking would give you more anxiety?
Yeah.
We talked earlier this morning about the way sometimes your anxiety presents itself by you get quiet, you might laugh at things that aren't funny, just like a kind of a nervous response. When you're drinking and that social anxiety comes up, was it similar or different?
I feel like it's similar. Like I feel like I would stop talking completely though.
Okay. Stop engaging with people?
I would still kind of stand up, but kind of like it would be like more. Like I would kind of get away more, like kind of, you know.
Get away more and more like isolate yourself?
Yeah, like take a few steps back from like conversations or like stuff like that.
Okay. Do you feel that your social anxiety throughout your time with Hosana when you were drinking, did it kind of improve? Did you figure out maybe how to deal with it a little bit more or no?
I think just my anxiety in general got a lot better once with it because like obviously the more you hang out with somebody, the more you're with somebody, you get more comfortable to like more be yourself and stuff.
Did you trust her?
Yeah,
You loved her, right?
yeah,
Did you want to be with her?
yeah.
And so ultimately you didn't start drinking. Did you consider Hosana to be a drinker? That's just what she did.
Yeah.
How often would she drink?
Y'all are gonna make me start drinking, trying to figure out the dumb effery of this relationship. Well, did you like her? Well, I mean, like, sort of, but like, it's not all that big a deal, but I bring the tickles, y'all. Oh, does it bother you that she was with Javi? Well, like, I don't know, because I mean, we weren't really even like sort of dating, like, I love her and stuff, but like, so Hosana is always felony adjacent, and Stacy is always feelings adjacent.
She would drink like every day.
Every day? I want to kind of focus around the time that you guys were together all the time. Hosana had said that once you guys kind of got together, days, nights, just together. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So during that time, was she drinking every day?
Yeah, I feel like she's always has.
Okay. What did that drinking every day look like? Was it, I don't know, like a mixed drink after work, a glass of wine here and there, or
It was like to drink to like get drunk.
every day,
Yeah.
or more often than not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, is that more accurate?
Objection 403, character.
Give me just a second. I'll sustain the objection and strike the last question and answer.
Thank you.
When you guys were out, would you consider her to be more of a social person in comparison to you?
Yeah.
What did that look like when you guys were out at the bars and interacting with strangers?
Well, she would just kind of talk to them and I would just be there, just neutral.
Did you ever try to flirt with people to get drinks at bars?
No.
You said that with quite quickly.
Yeah.
That it's just absolutely not.
That would never happen.
Okay. Would Hosana do that?
Yeah.
And so she's flirting with other people to get drinks. How'd that make you feel?
She would kind of bring it up as a joke, so I would like laugh.
If she didn't bring it up as a joke, would that change how you felt?
It would look different, but I kind of like was already.
I've been raising children my entire time, but like, is that what you do at bars? Like, if you have boobs, like, no matter what type of boob, like any boob whatsoever, you can get free drinks? Because, wait a minute, this is a bad idea. Because one drink in Mo, and I think I can dance, which I cannot. And videographic evidence has been kept off the internet until such time as I realize that because I have boobs and if I go into a bar, I can get more drinks. I mean, I am learning all the new stuff. And the name of this channel is Mo in the Deep End. Hey You Thunder. Although I realized that it's KU and not Cahunt, which doesn't makes more sense and more fun for me than and it makes me giggle because I didn't realize that it's Kentucky University Thunder. I thought you were calling someone a C word thunder because I say thunder cahoon and that's what I thought it was. But no, no, that's an actual sports ball thing. Watch me dissect your names in real time. This is just the weirdest relationship I've ever seen. JK Buck, we're going to have to figure this out. We will have to do a moobs versus boob, comparison for science.
Did you ever get upset?
No, not really, no.
Did you get a free drink out of it too?
Yeah.
Hey, boobs for everyone. Free
When you guys
drinks
would
for
go
everyone.
out, understanding that you were 18, but would you often go out to the bars?
Yeah.
What bars would you guys go to?
So like it was limited because I was not old enough to drink, but we would go to like cubetas. A couple times we would go to roasties. It's like this little bars in the morning. And there was this one Mexican. I think it's called the Bandido or something like that.
Over there on 8th?
It's like on like in front of the highway.
Okay. I like Garden City.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the same thing?
Yeah, this one's over there by Chippers Lane and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So it's like that's right there.
Is it a club?
Yeah, it's a Mexican.
We talked about the surveillance a little bit about you having to go in a specific entrance to get into cubetas. Was this because you're underage?
Yes.
Would
The
you drink at these
children's
places?
entrance?
When you guys were out and you were meeting people, was it common for you guys to find after parties?
Yeah.
How would that happen, just generally? We don't need like specifics, but you're going out to the bars. How do you find an after party?
Well, Hosana, like, she knew a lot.
The empty cup is water. Apparently, for the civilian, well, for the defendant, she gets a Dixie cup worth of water.
A lot of people. So, like, it was always like, she would always just find one.
How did it make you feel to go to after parties?
Well, I feel like I just did it because it's something that she wanted to do. So I was just, like, obviously, like, being with her and loving her, I would follow suit.
Was that kind of common in your relationship of, Hosana was more comfortable perhaps doing things, she knew what she wanted to do, and you went along with it?
Yeah.
Did you ever feel comfortable saying, I don't really want to do that?
Well, a couple times I kind of would be like, but she'd be like, come on, like, stop being a bee, you know?
When you say stop being a bee, what do you mean?
Bitch.
A bitch? Okay.
Yeah.
Would she tell you to stop being a bitch often?
Yeah.
How'd that make you feel when you heard that?
I told her I'm not.
You would tell her you're not?
Yeah.
I want to show you some more text messages, okay?
I get where the defense is trying to go with this. Again, I do think that having listened to her talk, she is incredibly immature. I mean, even for, her having a stunted sort of social anxiety, she is incredibly immature. So I don't think that Hosana told the entire story. Do I think that Stacy could be the more aggressive, maybe quiet, doesn't really say anything unless they're at home and then she lets Hosana have it? Possibly. But Stacy is not putting forward, sheltered, innocent teen. She is putting forward, like, I don't give two rats' asses. This woman she could not give a damn about anything. Normal human things that I think would be universal regardless of who it happened to or whom it happened to. But someone in a close, intimate relationship cheating on you, most people aren't going to go, I mean, I guess it was kind of funny, like we weren't really dating. you know, or the fact that Stacy was drinking a lot, or that, you know, Stacy expected her to kind of jump in and be a stepmom. I mean, these are all things that, you know, you would think would be, again, it's the stark kind of difference between Hosana, who, and mind you, they're both on direct. During direct, Hosanna was able to kind of fill in the blanks, give you sort of her perspective. Even if you didn't agree with it, you were able to hear her verbalize her thought pattern and how she either is wanting you to present or wanting you to understand her narrative, or at least shows understanding that, hey, this would be, you know, something that people would buy into. It is just absolutely, Stacy is showing that she gives no F's. Like, oh, well, you know, I mean, even when her lawyer is spoon feeding her, I'm sure things that they have practiced, Stacy is continuing to show like, it's fine. Like, I'll giggle, I'll swivel in my chair, but it's not a big deal. And however they're going to get her to, again, has as lackadaisical as she's acted now, she better at some point bring the sort of fear of God or fear of Christopher into this, because she is supposed to be showing how any person in her situation with her frame of mind would be justified in killing Christopher. And this attitude, I think, is really going to rub people the wrong way.
To show you what's been labeled as
And
double
that's what
Q.
she said in Giggity. And Godspeed, brave Maud. Be careful, it is freezing outside.
Mr. Hugh, I have it in the record as QQA and QQB. Is it both of them?
Yes, I unfortunately did too many letters.
Okay.
Ms. Rodriguez, I want you to kind of go through those. Let me know when you know what we're talking about, and I'll read that for you.
Okay, thank you.
No, Stacy continues to drink out of this Dixie cup is about the most funny thing.
Yeah.
All right, so these text messages are, we previously talked about these throughout the trial. This was when Hosana was telling you, my face is so red right now, right?
Yeah.
And was this in regard to you being with somebody else?
I want to believe that she was with some.
Objection leading.
Give me just a second. I'll sustain the objection. Mr. Hugh, if you want to rephrase, go ahead.
Okay. Do you know what these text messages are about?
Yeah,
Okay, what are they about?
about another female.
Who was with the other female?
Objection calls for speculation if you've been there.
I'll allow the question if the witness knows. And if you don't know, Ms. Rodriguez, that's fine.
Can I see them again?
You bet.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You're fine. Who was with the other girl?
She was.
She was, okay. And so we start off at the beginning of these text messages, and you told her, tell her I say hi, JK, 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 right?
Mhm.
Yes, sorry.
Yes.
I know it's very unnatural. Okay, and then Hosana says, watch, right?
Yeah.
You respond, babe, I'm kidding,
Yeah.
correct? Does she then say, I'm literally not playing?
Yeah.
And you say,
Objection leading. Can the witness actually read the document?
Your Honor, Mr.
Oh.
Corellia read a bunch of letters.
Oh, okay. Let me respond. And if I need a response from you guys, I will ask for one. I will allow the question. And if the witness needs to refer to the document, Ms. Rodriguez, just tell the parties that and ask to look at it if you need to.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Hosana says, I'm literally not playing.
Yes.
Do you say back, WTF with a few extra Fs?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Hosana says, my face is red right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she says red with a couple extra Ds, right?
So this is what we have thus far for the lesbian polycule. We've got Hosana with a just bevy of other harem people. I believe this side chick. You've got Javi, and then you've got the guy that she was going to meet on Netflix, and then Stacy has another side chick. I think so. I'm guessing. So they both. Look, I think loyalty is a bit of a stretch on both sides. That being said, that is the polycule as we know it, at this particular part of the trial.
Yeah.
You then say LMFAO with a bunch of O's, correct?
Yeah.
She then says, she's a fucking dumb ass little bitch, correct?
Yeah.
And then do you say, hey, she's average size, LOL, JK?
Yeah.
And then do you say, I'm playing, LMFAO, correct? Okay. And then she responds and says, the fact you defending what she fucking did pisses me off even more. I'm literally fucking shaking right now, Stacy. I'm not fucking around.
Yeah.
Oh,
And do you respond and say, WTF, what are you talking about? LMFAO.
Yeah.
And then,
I am literally shaking over here. Now, as a woman, I know, you know what pisses me off about being a woman and being pissed off? Half the time I can't tell you why I'm irritated with you because my hormones in uterus have gotten involved and realized that, you know, you have left the dishes in the sink not because you're lazy, but because you're an asshole who doesn't respect me. Now, I love that in my, you know, excitable female state, I can take things that you are just doing to be lazy and create them to be you disrespecting me. And then I start crying because apparently my angry voice is all mixed up with my tear ducts. And so I start crying, which it irritates me even more. But it is flippin' flapjacks annoying. But that is the magic of being a woman, is that we can take something that you just do, particularly as like just being lazy. Men, I'm looking at you when you just put your clothes right on the floor. See, us women can see this, and we can, through the transitive and jumping to conclusions and your real motive powers that we have, is that we realize that you are throwing those clothes on the floor because you don't respect us, because your mother must have taught you that women have nothing to do with their lives. And we can come up with your entire motivation of how you are an a-hole and not just lazy. So poor Mr. Mo just comes home and he thinks like, just got done from work, brought the bacon home, I am the man. And he comes home and he comes home to, you must not respect me. And he's like, oh hell. Oh hell, this is a trap. What did I do? I'm like, you must think I have nothing in my life, you know, worth living other than doing your damn laundry. Is that what you think? Now, Mr. Mo has simply just stepped into the doorway and didn't realize, because there wasn't, you know, like a bee warning signal. Like I just snap it on the days I'm going to be on a tear for something for no reason. And he just decides whether he comes home or not. But, you know, he has like barely stepped his, you know, kind of oblivious behind inside the house. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, oh, she chose violence today. Well, yep, it's a trap, gentlemen. If you come home and your wife's like, oh, do you think I have nothing to do with my life? Now, I don't want to offend my entire tribe, but that is a trap. And not one thing you say can and will be used for your safety. No, everything you can, will, and grunt as a statement after that will be used against you in perpetuity. I do feel sorry for you, men. Look, and look, men, to be real honest, like we know that we are yelling at you over, above, and beyond, but at this point, the souls of every irritated mother who has had to bend over to pick up dirty clothes off the floor have hijacked our souls. So we see ourselves talking and yammering, but we are being piloted by the souls of every mother's whose back has hurt just picking things up off the floor that no one has ever seen. That being said, it's a trap. Just like this. Apparently, if you are in, you know, a lesbian relationship, it is the same damn thing. Apparently, we do this trapping behavior, you know, even to fellow women.
does she respond and say, Well, I guess I apologize. Before you said the tell her I said hi, JK, JK, JK. I want to talk about what you had said right before that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize. It was a little confusing.
Yeah,
Before
that's the confusing bit of
Hosana
this.
texts you and says, I'm so fucking pissed, I want to cry, right?
Yeah.
And she says, like, you have no fucking idea, correct?
Yeah.
And then do you say, why?
And that's when you respond with, "Don't cry, you'll look like your mother." That's if you want to start a really big fight. Now, I don't recommend that unless, guys, look, I can feel you. Some days you're like, you know what? I'm rearing for a fight. I'm going to say she's acting just like her mother. Now, I have been married for 15 years. That does make the argument much more spicy and, explosive. But I would save that for like every other leap year if you want to bring that one out, because it is an amazing one to bring out, but it usually doesn't end well. Yeah, only say that if you have your will completely written out, and make sure she hasn't been watching all the Snapped episodes to figure out how to hide your body. But if she doesn't like true crime, I say Godspeed.
With three question marks.
Yeah.
And she says, I swear to God, if she's your little bitch.
Yeah.
And you say, what the WTF? LMFAO. Is that right?
Yeah.
Does she then say, I literally feel like fucking crying how fucking pissed I am, right?
Yeah.
And then do you respond and say, what'd she do?
Yeah.
And then does she respond and say, I'll message you when I'm done?
Yeah.
Okay. And then does the conversation go into you saying, tell her I say hi, JK?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're talking about these text messages, would this kind of language happen often from Hosana to you?
Yeah.
Would it happen often? Like, tell us, I guess, why it would happen. Like, what were you doing that she would then respond to be so upset?
Give me just a second. All right, the witness can answer.
What would you be doing that would, in your opinion, cause her to respond this way?
I feel like a lot of times, like, she would just like a lot of arguments and stuff, like I wouldn't even know what they were about. So I would try to ask her and she would like kind of just.
Again, objection called for speculation.
And Ms. Rodriguez,
Okay, wait. I changed my allegiance. I say Stacy knew nothing. Hosana was probably in the background telling her at the house, no. Like, this dude is being really mean to me. Do something, Stacy. And Stacy's like, I didn't even see nothing go down. And Hosana was like, he's been a real creep. Like, he is being so creepy to me. You need to deal with it. Stacy doesn't observe anything. She has the observational skills of someone who is, well, Stevie Wonder.
the question is what you were doing, so if you will just focus on what you were doing.
Yeah. So sorry.
That's okay. Do you remember what you were doing for her to respond this way?
No.
Okay. Is this kind of just standard?
Yeah.
She's always crazy. I think it's her being
Right.
a woman.
I want to show you what's been previously admitted as Defense Exhibit Double L.
Double L, okay.
Yes.
You know, I will say this trial has been such a blessing. I mean, who would have thought we would have gotten You're My Hoe Ass soulmate, and that Stacy would go full Bronca. Like, I didn't think that Stacy would go full repeal the 19th, but I'm kind of liking Stacy becoming based. Hosana had a whole conversation with you in her head and it turned into an argument. Now she's angry with you. I know, I kind of feel bad for Stacy. Stacy's just this 19-year-old who's like just thrust into this relationship, and Hosana comes in and she's all hormonal. She's like, I don't understand, but women are nuts. And have a great day, KU Thunder. And now that I know that that's a football or a sports ball team, I'm going to forget that tomorrow. Though if I remember next time I see you, it's a miracle, and mark it in your calendar because I remembered something. Wait, we have exhibit double L for the lesbian, the larger lesbian trial. Okay, I'm a 12-year-old. I am trying to. If I could remember them, that's the thing, is they come out of my mouth hole and then my brain has recorded nothing. If you need to hold it that close, your glasses are bad.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah, it's small, but yeah. Yeah.
And again, are we looking, let's just look down at this date. Is it created, access, modified, are all these dates the same?
Yeah.
Are they all from November 6th, 2021?
Yeah.
Okay. Do these text messages look like it's something you are sending to her?
Yeah.
And maybe not text messages, is this a Facebook Messenger?
Yeah.
Is that normally how you guys would talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember sending this message?
Slightly.
Okay.
She
You said
doesn't
something
remember
about
a
how you
thing.
gonna say you feel like getting ready after you see the video of him and go all nice and pretty to his mom's, LMFAO, trying to prove that you better than the other bitch, or what's up, LMFAO. What do you mean by that?
Well, I was kind of just more or less kind of like laughing. I don't know. Cause do I?
Yeah, go ahead.
So she was so mad about this video with her baby daddy and some other girl, and I would kind of just look, cause she even used my phone to record the whole incident. So,
What'd she see? Or what do you mean? What was she recording?
her baby daddy and some girl,
Okay.
and so I just thought it was kind of funny because I did. She's like, you know, like,
Did you find it funny because she was upset about him being with another girl?
oh no, like I mean, obviously, like that's gonna be like,
Objection relevance 403, I think we're there, Judge.
Give me just a second. All right, can the parties approaching, can you bring me that message?
Look, our client's audacity is
Stacey,
not.
tell me why you thought this was funny.
just because the whole thing with her taking the video of her like catching her baby daddy with another girl.
Okay.
All right, I am going to do some Stacy splaining for you because I, like Stacy, would find this entire situation hilarious, but I am able to, I think, break it down verbally more than Stacy with it's funny. You know, basically the fact that Hosana is so pressed that Javi has another woman in her life, with the glaring irony of the fact that that Hosana left Javi for another woman, you know, so she really shouldn't have anything to say with Javi moving on. The entire thing, the things that people do, us humans, are hilarious, especially when they are so uniquely ironic for the situation we are currently in. So that is why Stacy is laughing, although I'm glad I was able to articulate for Stacy as Stacy's wordsmith. I do have it going on. I'm not Stacy's mom, but I've got it going on. And I've got it going on with the words for her. So I'll jump in here to, you know, be Stacy's, you know, speaking Mo wordy wordsmith for her.
I just thought it was
Okay. Okay. All right, I'm going to show you what's been previously admitted as Defense Exhibit GG. Okay, do you remember seeing this earlier in trial? This was a video of Hosana at a park.
yeah, I did.
Okay, was this from October 13th, 2021?
Yeah.
Were you with her? Do you remember?
I don't believe so.
Why not? Why do you believe you weren't with her?
Honestly, like I kind of stopped really like hanging out, in a sense. Like it was just like kind of like I was trying to distance myself, so I know like a park is not somewhere.
Okay. All right. Now I want to go and show you Exhibit TT1 and TT2.
Show Stacy the titties. All right, I'll see myself out. This has been lovely. You did not name your both TTs, not just one or two. I'd like to see both.
Do you remember seeing these throughout the trial?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What does this photo stand out to you?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we seen it the other day.
Okay. Hosana had said that this is when she went to the hospital for a black eye. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I took her.
You took her to the hospital?
Yeah.
Did you give her that black eye?
No, I did not.
Do you know who did?
She said some girls had jumped her or something. We weren't together the night before, so I don't.
Okay. You didn't do it.
No.
All right, and you guys, it's crass, but you're here for it. But this is why we can show the TTs, but not the PPs. Obviously, look, there's this front little bit that if you have had children and maybe eaten a lot of your feelings for the coof, this little frontular region that hides the fun bits over here, now that is a gunt. And that's why you can't see the PPs. You have to lift it up in order to see those. So I know it's called an apron. I know it's not technically called a gunt, but I mean, obviously when the world gives you such gems as the gunt, you go with that. And that's why it's easier to see the TTs than it is the PPs. Because we all haven't discovered the magic of Ozempic yet. Then we'll all be able to see the P's and the T's. They'll be flappier than they used to be, but swings and roundabouts. Those times after I just said that I'm actively hoping that this is not the day my mom tries to give my channel another chance. Because she's like, your humor's a little off color. And I'll be like, oh, well, maybe give it another try. This will be the one that she tries to give it another try. And she's going to come in on my beautiful gunt picture. She's going to be like, okay, I'll just tell my friends in my new neighborhood that my daughter works in sales. No, not really.
There's one more thing I want to talk about before we kind of move on, okay?
Okay.
Hosana testified that at one point you had cut off all of her clothes, left bruises on her body, and left cuts on her body and poured, I believe she said, water or alcohol all over her and then made her go to sleep. Do you remember her telling you that?
Yeah, I remember her saying that.
Okay, did that happen?
No, it did not.
Did you ever see cuts on her body?
She would like cut herself.
So non-responsive, is that a yes?
I will ask that you re-ask the question, Ms. Trujillo.
Sure. Did you ever see cuts on her body?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever know what those cuts were from?
Yes.
What were they from?
She was like very suicidal, so she would that's how she explained to like cope with.
Okay. Okay. Did you ever see her do it?
No.
Vote for Your Honor.
All right. I'll sustain the objection.
The sad thing for Mr. Mo is like, does your wife hurt herself? And he'd have to say yes. And then he'd be on the stand and they'd be like, okay, Mr. Mo, what happened? And he'd be like, look, I have told my wife I don't mind hairy legs. She is handy capable. And yet she continues to try to attempt to shave her legs. Like she wasn't able to slice all of the layers of skin off of her shin bone before she was, cripple. But she continues to try to shave her legs, and I would like to get, her leg razors taken. Mr. Mo would have to get in there to get my Lady Bick away from me. Like, look, no, I'll just go to the knees. He's like, you skip half your shin anyway. It's like, well, I can't see it. Your Honor, look, I'm married. We've been married for 16 years. Could she just stop shaving her legs if it looks like, Charles Manson attacked her shins? And the answer to that is no, Mr. Mo. That's how I keep the smexy alive, with all the Band-Aids on my shin. This is real romance.
We'll move to strike.
I'll sustain the last question, I'm sorry, I'll strike the last question and answer.
Did you see cuts on her body? Was that the question that you had sustained?
So it was.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get clarification.
You guys are killing Jenny here. Please don't talk over each other. The last question to which there was an objection was, did you ever see her do it? And the answer was no. That's the question and answer that's getting stricken.
Okay. Did
Well,
you ever
that's why
see cuts
she's
on her body?
cheating.
Yeah.
Objection, ask and answer.
Stacy, if y'all hadn't ever done it and you only seen her do it once, well, I can tell you why Hosana was cheating and so were you. Y'all need to make time for each other. Now, as to what happens in those time alones, I don't know, but I'm guessing one of you should know. So, y'all just didn't make you two a priority.
I'll allow the question.
Do you want me to re-ask it?
Yeah.
Did you ever see cuts on her body?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right, Your Honor, I think this might be a good break.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take our lunch recess.
Yeah, it's been doing just fabulously.
I want to remind you that until the trial is completed, you must not discuss this case with anyone, either in person, using the internet, or by any other means. This includes members of your family, people involved in the trial, other jurors, or anyone else. If someone approaches you and tries to discuss the trial with you, or if you see or hear anything undertaken to a news.
Oh. Okay. All right, you guys, since I am a 12-year-old and I don't have good radar on these things, do we think this is a woman or a man? And I feel bad trying to guess either way. But I'm guessing woman, KD Lang haircut, birth control glasses. Okay, who is assaulting the microphone with a Stanley?
Jenny, is it the same file or do I need it?
Oh, I'm just sure
She can take that.
Oh my God. That hurt.
All right. And I was correct. I think we did have a Katie Lang haircut. That is a female. I love that we're having this. Okay, and see, I really do I think that the brighter pastels are going to look really great on Penny Problem Voice. That is a weeness. Okay, so since my boys definitely need to be, well, shame-embarrassed for everything that they've done to me in my entire life, but as a boy mother, my poor youngest, most feral, now, if you have had small children, you realize that shutting the door when you're using the restroom is just asking people to start lighting things on fire. So when my youngest, most ferals were all 3 boy children under the age of 4, because I just have poor planning skills. Well, one day my youngest, most feral runs in, and him being a little boy, you know, and I'm like, can you go outside and shut the door? And he looked up at me in horror, and I'm like, okay, well, what? And he's like, where did your wiener go? And I said, well, this is called, this is called a vagina. I don't have it. And he's like, your girl Gina doesn't have a wiener. And I was like, well, you only have one. And I was like, could I just have 5 minutes? And he's like, I think I need to go tell. So youngest, most feral, having learned that I didn't have a wiener, decided to run and tell his brothers. But then after this revelation had been told to the masses, he ran back alarmed because he had forgotten something. And obviously God had forgotten something for me too. And he's like, but Mom, if you don't have a wiener, where did your balls go? Now, have I been a better mom and a more kind and lovely human being who hadn't had the sanity tested out of her soul? I may or may not have responded differently, but I told her that's what boobs are. Or I told him that's what boobs are. So girls' boobs or balls are their boobs. Now, I have yet to dissuade my boys of these things, and I know that they're going to get in trouble in school when they realize or when they say this, but I'm willing to let it slide. because, just to teach them and learn them the lesson to leave mom alone when she's using the restroom. I'm just waiting for them to tell their teachers that girls' testicles are on their chest like their mom always told them. I am going straight to hell. But again, I would like to state that I just wanted 5 seconds alone to where I could wash my hands, after using the restroom without anything being lit on fire. So, that being said, I can't wait for the day that, ladies' testicles being their boobs becomes a thing because I put that in my young feral child's brain.
In 21 CR 2296, People of the State of Colorado versus Stacy Rodrigues. The parties are present as previously captioned, and we are outside of the presence of the jury. Any issues before we bring the jury in? Okay. Anything for the state? Ms. Rodrigues, if you'll please retake your seat at the witness stand, and we can go ahead and bring the jury in.
Well, at that age, they were 4, 3, and 2. So, they were getting their information from, yeah, look, my poor oldest daughter, so I have 6 children, in case you don't know, but my first daughter, and I was currently pregnant at the time. But somewhere between taking her home from her little, brownies troop, to us getting home 5 minutes later, she asked me where babies came from, and I had to mulligan it, because I messed up so badly that I'm pretty sure I don't even know where kids came from, after I tried to give her some idea of where children came from. Now, to be fair, I think we struggled through it together, but her being my first child to actually ask me those questions, I had no idea the way I was going to frame it. So I was like, do I frame it as purely biological, or do I frame it as, in the context of in at least a committed relationship? Or do I, approach this, and give her all the right words and try to tell her that I understand that it's completely, weird and it's a gross topic, and sex is normal, but you don't want to talk to your parents about it, so if you have any questions, I can understand. I do have a youngest most feral that I will lend out for birth control purposes, so if you'd like him, but look. Yeah, true. We're just, we have Elon Musk and Nick Carter. No, Cannon. Damn it all to hell. I was so proud of myself, but it's Cannon is the one that has all the children. Carter's the one from in Backstreet Boys, 89 Degrees. One of them. Oh. Why did I think he was from NSYNC? I don't know. I was a Hanson's gal. KLF. I'm going to have to get that tattooed, and people are going to be confused. Like, why do you have Nick Cannon on your forearm? And I'm like, I don't know. I just never remember which one was in Backstreet Boy and which... You guys know how I do the directions, like left, right? It's going to be Cannon, Carter. Oh, And listen, as someone who used to be fluffy, ladies, there are so many better fashion choices than solid black. As we can clearly see here, this is still a fluffy human being, just in a solid black color. It is not slimming. She looks like a beanbag. There are better clothing options out there for, every body type. So let's just try to, dress our bodies a little bit funner. Just because you're fluffy doesn't mean you have to wear black. Unless black is your spirit animal, color, then I say go for it. I just keep waiting for her to
right, thank you.
scratch
Please
her
be seated.
crotch.
Ms. Trujillo, you may resume.
Okay, Stacy. I want to get into October, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's start with October 2nd. Were you and Hosana together on October 2nd that night?
Yeah, we were.
What was your guys' plan?
To go out and just have drink and have fun.
Okay. Was that standard for you all?
Yeah, I was.
Do you know if she was in Johnstown before?
I'm not really 100% sure.
Okay. Just like maybe don't remember or?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay. Where did you pick her up that night?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, yes.
From where?
Her mom's house, or her sister and mom's house.
Okay.
Apartment.
What car were you driving?
A Chevy Malibu.
The car that you saw in all the crime scene
And when you pick up
photos.
Hosana, what do you guys do?
We go to Cubetas.
Okay. Did you go anywhere before?
No.
Were you guys drinking in the car on the way to Cubetas?
Yes, we were.
What were you drinking?
It was a dark bottle, but I don't exactly remember what kind it was.
Okay. Hosana said Hennessy.
Your brother was in jail for DUI, and you totally don't fucks around with booze like that. So you're just, because you're really diligent about, not drinking and driving. So you were driving, drinking Hennessy. Hey, sweetheart, I'm just saying that you only testified about not being a big drinker like 30 minutes ago. I know you've had lunch before, but I need you to stick with the script.
Would that sound right?
Yeah,
How much were you
Hennessy?
drinking?
quite a bit.
Were you driving?
Yeah, I was.
How much was Hosana drinking, if you could see?
About the same amount as me.
When you're drinking in the car, when you're drinking that hard alcohol, are you like just taking shots or are you mixing it with things?
It was like shots, but then I believe we had like a chaser.
Okay. Were you taking shots with a shot glass or just kind of like pulling it from the bottle?
It was just like out the bottle.
No, I was doing the roundabout and I was like, okay, Stacy, wait, no, here, no. And then I was like, okay, I gotta get me a little bit of chaser. Okay. Or could you imagine if they were doing boob shots? Or isn't that where you try to get the cup with your mouth and, gonna need to do a lot of bar, investigations to figure this out. I'm gonna take my own Dixie cup though.
So do you pick her up from her mom and sisters and then go straight to Quipetas?
Yeah.
And then we kind of mentioned this earlier, but you had to go in a different way, right? To Quipetas and she went in?
Yeah, so they didn't let me in through the back. So we both went to the...
Underage lesbians through the back. Party at Cubetas. And then when the guys come in to see the underage lesbians and it's only Stacy, that promotion would only work once, but Cubetas, I'm throwing it out there. If you had wanted to increase, your dance floor, you say underage lesbians in the back. And, it's not lying because Stacy is there. It's not great advertising the second time, but, it works once.
front.
Okay. And then did you continue drinking inside the bar?
Yeah, I did.
What were you drinking there? If you remember.
I don't remember
Okay.
exactly what it was.
Was it hard alcohol?
I want to say it was mixed in a cup. I didn't order it.
Okay.
But
It was like a drink in a cup.
yeah, but I had alcohol.
Okay. How drunk did you feel when you were at Quipetas?
Pretty drunk.
Pretty drunk. Like stumbling over drunk or just a little less than that?
A little less than that.
And then was Hosana still drinking in Quipetas?
Yeah, she was.
You guys, how long were you all there for? Do you know?
I'm not really sure the exact time.
A few hours?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you go to any other bars that night?
No, I don't believe so.
Did you see Christopher Dickerson inside Cubetta's?
No, I did not.
Do you remember seeing a few photos, I think from Mario Carrasco and Elizabeth Flores, who were working there at the time? The prosecution had played, I think, some of their videos. Do you remember seeing those?
Yeah, with the music in the background.
Sorry?
With the music in the background?
Yes,
Yeah, I do
yes.
remember.
Okay, and do you remember kind of when we were looking at those videos that Mr. Dickerson was standing by a pool table?
Yeah.
Did you ever see him standing by a pool table?
No, I didn't ever see that.
What were you doing in Cubetta's, essentially, besides drinking?
Drinking, and then we were dancing.
Was it just you and Hosana there?
It was
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of people there, but I suppose people that you knew. Did you have other friends there?
yeah, I had a friend there.
Did you spend a lot of time with her?
A little bit.
Did you ever get into?
Okay, this is really bothering me that the defense keeps making a point of at Cubetta's. Christopher was kind of over here in the back, just holding a drink and not really in the crowd of salsa dancers. And I can tell you as an introvert, this is where we hang out. Right here. Not with the dancers. No, no. We are right here with our drink, watching you, remembering you, and waiting to tell you about whatever you did when you were drunk because we observed you. But we're not going to get in with all the people in the crowd. That's a no-go. No, we have already looked at the exits, make sure we can unpeople ourselves very quickly, and then we proceed to watch you people. That's what introverts do. We are not creepy by nature. We just don't, people well. So we tend to watch groups of people. And in fact, introverts probably have a better friend breakdown of the dynamic that's actually going on in your friend group because we are watching you as our husband is, talking about finances. So we are doing anything to avoid that conversation. And yes, whoever needs to hear this, Angie, Millicent hates you. Okay. I saw her at the table. She made funny faces. She does not like you. Get away from Millicent.
Into it with Javi?
No, I did not.
Did you say hi to him?
No.
Good. So ultimately, do you all leave Cubetta's?
Yes.
When do you leave, or why do you leave?
There was a fight that had broke up between some girls. I don't know about, but then they kind of told everybody they had to
Okay. And then what do you do when you all leave?
She had got an after party from one of her friends.
Who's she?
Hosana.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. So Hosana gets an after party from one of her friends. Do you go to that after party?
No, we couldn't find her.
Okay. What do you mean you couldn't find her?
Her friend.
Like outside the bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so all of this happened because you couldn't text her friend to go to an actual after party? You found this random, tall, white, and nerdy walking in an alley and were like, hey, do you happen to know where our after party is? And he's like, well, ma'am, no, I do not know where your particular after party is, but I do have booze at home at my house if you'd like to come. And Stacy was like, ew, creepy, it's tall, white, and nerdy. But Hosana said, no, we're going to go over there and drink. None of this is making any sense.
So you can't find her friend for the after party. So then what happens?
We're kind of just 'cause she couldn't remember her name to message her.
Okay.
So we kind of just drove around kind of looking for her friend.
Were you kind of driving around in the same area that you heard Detective Burrows talk a lot about with the
Yeah.
surveillance on 8th Avenue?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever kind of leave that area when we were talking about you driving around?
No, it was just kind of in a complete circle.
Okay. And again, are you still in the Malibu?
Yeah.
Who was driving?
Two
I was driving.
drunks driving around a
Why were you driving?
closing bar.
She wanted to redo her makeup or touch it up.
Did you ultimately see Mr. Dickerson at one point?
Walking down the alley.
Okay. When you guys were driving around?
Yeah.
And how did you end up kind of talking with him?
He kind of was like, hey, but I don't remember the exact things. I remember Hosanna wanting them talking about a whole after party. We're looking for after party. He was like, well, I got drinks in my house, And so
Okay.
yeah, we just kind of went.
So in your inability to construct any sort of competent sentence from God's ability to give you language, let me explain what happened and exactly how you and the defense are screwing this up. You have stated, you, Hosana, and the defense have stated that Christopher stated he had an after party. No, he didn't. His words from all three of you were, I have drinks at home. Now, in nowhere in I have drinks at home did he indicate there was any sort of people, because he would have said, I have drinks at home, but there are other people. We could have a party. No, he didn't add that little codicil there that said, hey, I have other people there. No, he said, I have a drink or drinks at home. Also, I don't know who needs to hear this, but male or female or furry, do not pick people up in alleyways going home. Nothing good happens from women who A, go to random people's houses from alleyways, and B, men who pick up random alley chicks. So there you go. Don't pick people up in alleys. The world would be a better place.
Remember, you see him in a car. Do you remember how you guys engaged with each other enough for him to come to your car? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, he said, hey, you know, like,
Okay.
kind of like trying to like look in, and I was like, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what side of the car he came up to?
I just remember like, I don't remember what side he walked up to, but I remember like the whole conversation.
Okay.
Not like the whole thing, but like I do remember like the most of it.
Okay. Okay. Of him being at the car.
Yeah.
And then do you remember then him saying, that's fine. I can do an after party, essentially?
Yeah.
Objection, lady.
I'll allow that question.
Okay. So, do you want me to repeat it?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Yeah. He essentially comes up to you all. Does he say, I've got an after party, or like, I can have one, I've got drinks at the house?
Yeah, because we told him we were looking for one.
Okay. And you had never seen him, or had you ever seen him before?
I never have.
How did you feel when he came up to your car?
I was like, I feel like something a lot of people do.
Okay. It didn't make you nervous?
Not really, no.
Stacy, you say yes. Yes, this is still direct, Lefty Lutz. She is being this terrible, explaining herself. Stacy, I don't want to give you any help as you're doing an excellent job, but you have to use your words out of your mouth hole to get everyone to agree that it was prudent, nay, necessary for you to stabulate Chris. I know, I'm kind of wanting to just skip to direct because I just feel like this is going to be a whole bundle of stupid. But this is actually in Colorado. This is Colorado.
Was he by himself?
Yeah, I believe so.
Did that make you nervous?
No.
How did the conversation go for you all to then drive separately to his house versus all getting in the car together?
Well, he wanted to get in the back, and I was like, well, we'll just follow you to your car, you know?
Why didn't you want him to get in the back?
I mean, I don't know, just like the whole thing of like, because it's for one, it's my mom's car, so I'm not gonna have somebody I don't know my mom's car, you know? Then like the whole thing with like just having somebody in there that I don't, you know?
Okay. So I want to maybe clarify, and I apologize if I'm misunderstanding. You weren't necessarily afraid of him, but just a general stranger getting into the car wasn't something you wanted to do?
Me personally, no.
Okay. And so we talked a little bit about you guys doing after parties often. Was it common for you to go to after parties not knowing whose house it was?
Yeah,
Was it common for you to go to after parties not really knowing who would be at the after party?
yeah.
How did that make you feel with your social anxiety?
Because it's hotel,
It was kind of like hard.
motel, Holiday Inn. If you're, no, not, that's the another song. If your girlfriend's acting up, switch and take her friend. But I know that's not the same song. But Motel Party was the jam. Although I don't think that was its actual name. As I said, I was not one of the cool kids. I was, at home studying, not going to parties, and working at the local custard shop, frozen custard.
For me to do it at first, but like, I feel like, well, this is good practice to try to change that. So like, I was trying to always look the bright side of it.
Okay. You mentioned when you picked Hosana up from her sister and mom's that you guys were drinking in the car. Did the two of you drink a little bit more on your way to Mr. Dickerson's?
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
But I would imagine so. That's what we would do, you know?
Yeah. So let's talk about when you first get to his house, okay? Who was all there when you first got to his house?
Nobody was there.
Just the three of you?
Yeah, and then
You said and then. Did I stop you?
the dog.
The dog. Okay.
That was it.
What were you drinking at his house?
It was a pretty sure it was Ciroc.
Okay. Why are you sure it was Ciroc? Or pretty sure?
Because the bottle looked like Ciroc.
Okay. Were you drinking any beer?
There was like some drinks. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was beer, but it tasted,
Maybe a pumpkin beer?
no.
Okay.
Objection leading.
I'll sustain the objection.
Did you drink a
It
pumpkin
was a
beer?
Budweiser.
And when you guys, so I kind of want to break up the time that you were at Mr. Dickerson's house, okay? So we heard throughout the trial that you first get there. Hosana said you leave to go pick up his friend Dolores Feehill and then drop her off. And then you all go back to the house, okay? So I want to start off the first time you were there before leaving to go pick up Dolores.
Okay.
When you were there and you continued drinking, how drunk did you feel at that point?
I was pretty drunk.
How drunk? Like, what were you doing? Like, was this room spinning or
It wasn't necessarily spinning, but I did throw up.
you threw up?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you, in the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay. How many times?
In the corner? Were you marking your territory? Also, don't drink to the point you are throwing up. Like, I know that when I start thinking I can dance and I want to put on, Will I Am and Shakira's These Hips Don't Lie, when I absolutely know that my hips, they try to tell the truth, but they just stutter and speak in Morse code, that, this is where I need to cut myself off. If you're throwing up because you're so drunk, that's bad, okay?
Within the whole night or during this period?
Just during the first time we're at his house? Just once, okay. After you threw up, did you keep drinking?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, she was like, stop being a bee. So then I was like, I threw up, She's like, it's okay.
Okay. At this point, when you're pretty drunk, in your opinion, how drunk was Hosana?
Honestly, all I was really focused on is how nauseous I felt at the moment.
And how nauseous?
So at that, how nauseous I was at the moment. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
You can, I don't know if you want to move it closer.
I'll just leave.
Okay. So, not really quite sure how drunk she was, right?
Yeah, at the moment I wasn't sure.
Okay. When you guys were all
You guys, this chair has wheels on it. Now, you could take the chair and you can just scooch it closer, or you could lean. But no, you could actually move the chair forward.
at the house, what were you doing, the three of you?
Before that car ride,
Yes.
we were just kind of like, we're in the
Cards
kitchen for a
Against
little bit. They went to the
Humanity?
living room to hear music and stuff like that. Conversation here and there.
What room for music did you say?
In the living
In
room.
the living room. Did you guys primarily hang out in the living room?
It was like back and forth, oh, man, everywhere I feel.
Okay. The house isn't that big, right?
No,
So if you're back and forth, where are you back and forth from?
the kitchen and living room.
So listening to music, having conversations. Did any of the conversations at this point get kind of heated?
At this point, no.
When you're there, did you ever ask Mr. Dickerson if more people were going to come over?
Yeah, I did it a couple times.
Did anybody else come over?
No.
How did that make you feel?
I was kind of just, well, he kept telling me they were coming or that they'll be there soon,
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay, probably some people just take forever to get ready, so.
They were women.
So ultimately, do you remember at one point leaving to go pick up his friend?
Yeah, I do.
And why did you all leave? Hosana had explained this in a little bit of detail. She had said that it seemed like he was ignoring a phone call or something like that. Can
Yeah.
you kind of tell us what happened from your perspective in regard to that?
Well, how it happens, like, she did start, like, calling him and stuff like that.
Who's she? Sorry.
Delorious.
Oh, okay, his friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he seemed kind of, like, frustrated. So we're kind of like, like, I guess she was having problems with somebody. He was, like, frustrated. He's like, I don't know if I should go pick her up. And I was like, well, obviously, like, if she's going through something, go pick her up,
When you say he seemed frustrated, can you explain, like, physically how that seemed to you?
Well, yeah, he was just saying, like, bad words at the phone.
Like swearing? Yeah. Okay. Was he slamming things down or anything like that?
Well, no, he was just on the phone looking at it saying bad words.
Okay. So more of his voice.
Yeah.
So ultimately, do you all decide to go pick up Miss Behill?
Yeah.
And do you go with them?
Yeah, I do.
Why do you all go together?
I don't know. We just the car ride, I guess.
Because he's not leaving these two heifers in his house by themselves, although honestly, that would probably have alleviated the homicide of this whole case.
I don't know, I kind of just followed suit with them. I was like, okay. Okay. I kind of just followed suit with them.
Okay. So you go and pick up Miss Behill on the way to get her. What is the situation in the car? Is everything kind of friendly? What are you doing?
Well, yeah, the music was playing most of the time, but it was pretty good.
All right. Did you have a drink with you in the car?
I did.
What were you drinking?
It was one of the drinks that he had handed me. I want to believe it was a beer. Yeah.
Beer? Okay. And then what happens when you pick Dolores up? What did she do?
She was kind of like, we had drove around for a little bit, kind of like, he didn't know exactly where she was at, but then we ended up finding her on the side of the road.
Okay.
And then she had all kinds of bags with her, and she kind of just seemed like very like emotional. She kind of just threw her bags in the bag.
Okay. And were you and Hosana sitting in the back?
Yeah, we were.
Okay. The bags hit you?
Yeah, it hit me in the face, so I just laughed.
Okay. So she gets into the car. Then what happens?
Nothing. Well, we tried to go drop her off.
Okay. Was it kind of close to where you picked her up?
So we had picked her up. I don't know if you know where the Tarumada's at.
Yeah.
It's like a green, blue store, Mexican store. And so from there, we dropped her off like over there by the school, the college, UNC.
Okay. So everything's kind of in this like general area, right?
Yeah, it's more down the street.
Perfect.
Well, this is so they are driving around in Mr. Dickerson's car. So I guess word to the wise, if it's a Saturday night and it's 4:30 a.m. in the morning and you are an early bird, just assume everyone else on the freeway is drunk. Or at least that's what I'm going to be doing from now on. Because I like to get stuff done early. I loved when our Walmart was 24 hours a day and I could go in with all the other stalkers who don't, like, y'all, do you want to know who the best Walmart employees are? Get you the nighttime stalkers, not stalkers like for the shelves, not, I mean, if your stalker though, if you do have a stalker, like a real one, and he legit wants to stop at Walmart for you, I mean, is that bad? But those people are the best because they don't want to deal with you. You don't want to deal with them. They picked night shift to not have to deal with people. You picked night shift to not have to deal with people. And honest to God, you just ask them, they know where everything is. And with the tacit agreement or tacit agreement that you are not going to make them people anymore with you if they will just tell you where, the ranch Hidden Valley season packets are because they moved them. I loved 24/7 Walmarts, especially the night shift people. They were my people, Then, of course, they switch it because, ugh. Yeah, and I thought it was liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor, never sicker. I could be wrong. I don't drink all that much. I'm not good with the limericks.
You drop her off. Then what happens? Do the three of you go back to his house?
Yeah.
What's the vibe in the car after you drop Dolores off?
So the guy had calmed down.
Oh my God, you guys, I need to make bar stall sticky tabs or stickers, for a good time, watch Mo in the stall. And then everyone thinks it's going to be a OnlyFans thing. And it's just me being ridiculous on trial streams. That's it. My bucket goal is to have Mo in the deep end stickers on every truck stop stall from here to Boise. Y'all, I'm telling you. Okay, that's it. Millennials, we are Genlennials, Gen Zs. We need to get the boomers out, and we're bringing back 24-hour Walmarts. It is how it is. We're bringing them back.
Down a little bit. Obviously, we weren't nothing. They were talking, so music wasn't as loud. We were kind of just trying to respect the conversation. We were just quiet.
Sorry, I just want to stop you. Respect the conversation between Mr. Dickerson and Dolores?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we kind of just obviously kept it down while they were talking. And so we dropped her off. The music turned back on, and obviously like the vibe got hyped up again, And so we started hearing music, and then we took some pictures.
Okay. You said hyped up again. Do you mean that in a positive way?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we need an introvert hour. I mean, they've got them for the elderly and I think people with sensory issues. My Walmart out in Hilltucky, Indiana is dealing with that or doing that. So there's extra hours or early hours that are supposed to be quieter. Now, I will say on my Walmart, now going early is going to be your best bet, but if you are, you have to be very mindful of your lane positioning in the early morning because we have Shiite like fast walkers. Like they are there to get their sweat on, which I respect, ladies, but I'm here to get my Oreo on. So, how about we just pick a lane and you guys just stay on your outer perimeter and I'll stay where all the snacky snack food are. How about that? Because, yeah, never get in the way of the walkers. The old women walkers, they they will mean mug your ass. You will never walk in their lane again.
So having fun in the car.
Yeah.
All right. Who's taking photos
Hosana was.
of the two of you?
Yeah, just me and her.
Okay. What, like on Snapchat?
I don't know what it was on.
And you all drive back then to his house right after you drop her off, Dolores off.
Yeah, we do.
Was there ever a time when you were in the car where you were getting uncomfortable feelings about Mr. Dickerson?
No,
Were you scared of him in the car?
I wasn't.
Did you feel threatened by him in the car?
No,
Did you ever think in your mind, when we get back to the house, I am going to kill him?
no.
So when you get back to Mr. Dickerson's house, do you all just go back inside?
Yeah, we do.
And what happens when you go back inside? Do you continue drinking?
Yeah.
How much?
We started pouring more shots and stuff like that.
Of Ciroc?
Yeah.
Who's pouring shots?
He started off pouring shots at first, and then Hosana did a little bit, then so did I.
Okay.
So it was like all of us.
How drunk are you at this point?
I'm pretty drunk.
Again, we talked about maybe you puking, but can you give us an example maybe of how drunk you were? I mean, are we falling over or are we?
Not necessarily falling over, but I was pretty drunk to the point where I was like kind of spilling stuff.
Okay. Did you get sick again?
Yeah.
Okay. I see you laugh. Are you embarrassed?
Yeah.
Are you embarrassed by getting sick?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this kind of one of those times where we talked about it's not necessarily you laughing because you think it's funny, but more just kind of.
Objection waiting.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Ms. Trujillo, if you want to rephrase that.
Sure. Why are you laughing?
I'm just nervous.
You're nervous.
Yeah.
Dang it, if only I had that Alex Jones quote, "Listen, guys, I'm kind of retarded." I mean, that's where I would have put that particular soundbite if I had it. I am saving up for a soundboard to do all the magical soundiness. But why are you laughing? Well, I think the Alex Jones quote would have worked out just fine.
How drunk is Mr. Dickerson in your opinion at this point when you guys get back to the house?
I mean, I didn't really know him, so I can't say for sure like how drunk he wasn't like stumbling or nothing.
Okay.
But he could have been drunk, like, but I honestly was just nauseous.
Okay.
Miss Boone, Miss Sarah Boone, we need you to explain to us exactly how drunk everyone in this situation was with your patented Schrodinger's drunk, equation.
At this point, when you guys are back at the house and you're playing music and continuing to drink, does anybody else show up?
No.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, I had asked him again. He's like, they're coming. He's like, he just kind of stopped talking. I was like, oh, okay.
Did you want to leave at that point?
Not really. I was kind of just like there, like just neutral.
Did Hosana want to leave?
No,
How do you know that?
because I feel like I know her pretty well. So I was like, I know when she's like wants to be there and when she doesn't.
Okay. But it appeared to you that she was having a good time?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever see Mr. Dickerson touch Hosana's butt?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did he ever touch your butt?
Yeah, he did.
When?
Just like, it was like twice when I was like passing like the,
X to doubt. Look, I am trying to put myself in the mindset of Steve Gosney that's had 3 sidecars. And I don't particularly bat for Stacy's team, but would I have the balls, the lady balls, the titlets, if you will, to touch Stacy's bum, even super drunk? The most response is going to be no. No, I wouldn't. Look, Stacy's bigger. I think I could outshuffle her. But in my current drunk state, I would know there's a likely chance that that me being, drunk and this being a horror movie where I have just, intimidated the final boss, as I am running away to go get help, I will trip and fall because this is a horror movie.
Door frame of the, like from the kitchen entering the living room.
Okay, so leaving from the kitchen, going to the living room.
Yeah.
How did he grab your butt?
How?
Yeah.
He was kind of just like,
Just like a tap.
yeah. So I kind of just, I was like, oh, maybe he was an accident, you know? Because people like when they walk, some people sway their hands and stuff like that. So I didn't really think too much of it.
Was there ever a time where he did it again and you did think something of it?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh, well, we were outside smoking in front of the house, and Hosana had went in, then I went in, and then he came in after me. But this wasn't like a thing; it was more like I would say more like a pinch.
A pinch?
Yeah.
2 fingers?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But that's what I felt.
It felt like a pinch.
Yeah.
Did you ever confront him about it?
No.
Why didn't you?
I don't know. I'm just shy, so I kind of just left it.
Okay. Did you ever feel kind of uncomfortable or felt unsafe if he touched your butt?
It threw me off for a little bit, but I try to just like, I was maybe just mad, you know. I'm just gonna leave it.
Okay. Did you ever think he was going to hurt you when
Okay, Stacy, you should start saying it really made me uncomfortable. I didn't feel like I had a voice to be able to say, hey, don't do this. He's an older guy. My girlfriend isn't making a big deal out of it. So I was just going to laugh it off. But inside, I was really uncomfortable. When I am able to better craft your answers, you're doing just fabulously. Take none of what I say. You just act lackadaisical and whatever about it. Whatevs. If whatevs was a person, it'd be Stacy Rodrigues.
he was touching your butt?
No.
Ugh.
Throughout the time that you were at the home, so we can start the first time you go, post dropping off Dolores and then going back. Did you ever feel that Mr. Dickerson was showing Hosana more attention than you?
Did Mr. Dickerson ever force you to listen to Nickelback? Was he trying to get you to listen to this song called Look at This Photograph? And then were you, in fear for your audio sanity, did you then attack? Because that's really the only thing I could be okay with. The girlfriend is charged with accessory and I believe accessory after the fact because, and this does go to Hosana's direct testimony, she was the one that first found the metal file. And I think she had hid it because she thought it was a weapon of some sort, which it did turn out to be. But she thought it was more like a sword, I'm guessing, or something of that. So when Stacy, according to Hosana, had Mr. Dickerson pinned with her knee on the ground, Dingus, stop. You're going to make a mess. Stacy was the one, or Stacy asked for that metal thing, and Hosana went to go get it for her. So had Hosana not handed her that, she would not have been able to stab him. But also Hosana then helped with, going through the stuff per her own testimony and then taking Stacy to buy the gasoline to set the house on fire. Yeah, that's what we're supposed to believe. That she was demure, she was afraid for her life, that, tall, white, and nerdy tried to, make her listen to 9 Inch Nails. We're trying to get to that point, but this is... During direct should be the time where you're painting a picture for the jury. You're trying to get them into your headspace to really make them understand you. And that is not happening here. Dingus, you are a butt monkey. Come on now.
Did you feel that he was showing you the equal amount of attention as Hosana?
Yeah, but when he would like try to ask me,
Yeah, go ahead.
when he would like try to ask me stuff, I would just kind of just be like, oh, like try to put it on her because like I don't really like to like, I guess like socialize and stuff.
Okay. What kind of things would he ask you that you would put off on Hosana?
It was just basic stuff, like basic stuff.
Where you worked?
Yeah.
And just generally, you were just kind of uncomfortable. Just
Objection, lady.
I can rephrase.
I'll allow that clarifying question. The witness can answer.
Thank you. Did you feel generally uncomfortable, not necessarily uncomfortable, but nervous just having standard conversations?
Yeah, conversations in general.
Okay.
I'm more of a quiet but stabby type. I'm a strong silent stabber, if you will. I don't like small talk.
So we know, or at least we heard throughout kind of this trial, ultimately things took a turn in that house.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So can you please tell us when, things had shifted from, being a little drunk, but having a good time, listening to music, to things not going well?
Yeah. Well, like there was like little things that like led up before.
Honestly, between this lawyer and this defendant trying to get a daggone coherent, concise sentence out, it's impossible.
Obviously all that, you know.
Okay. What were those little things?
Just like one time we were like in the living room, and we were hearing music on a computer. It was like on a stand, but the stand like moved around.
Okay.
But he had asked us if we wanted to hear a song, and Hosana was like, "Do you
Holy shit, you guys. He did try to make her listen to Nickelback. That's what happened. I called it. I knew it. Tall, white, and nerdy Chris. You should have known that trying to get people into Nickelback is really a more, it's an aggressive behavior. It's not nice. We were already, hurt by Nickelback, all of us in the late 90s, early aughts. So when he put on this thing and it said, "Look at this photograph," Stacy was like, "No, not again, not Nickelback again." And that's where it all went off. I do believe that this is a public defender, and welcome, Baker Raiders. We are getting to the point where Stacy is going to explain why she had to stab Christopher Dickerson, who I have termed tall, white, and nerdy, for making her uncomfortable, when most of her statements on the stand have been, "I don't really care." So let's see if she starts to care. Oh, well, if you'd showed Creed, I mean, you could get away with everything. Creed was an abomination. I'll say it.
do you want to play a song?" And I was like, I don't care, you know. And so I ended up playing a Spanish song,
Okay.
and like he was kind of like making fun of it at first, but I was
He
just
was like, "Despacito, get me some nachos and cheese chorizo. I really, really want margaritos." I know that's not the song, but every time I hear Despacito, I just want chips and salsa and a margarita.
kind of just I was like, okay, guys, and just laughed it off, you know. And then he like starts. I feel like he started to like kind of get like frustrated with
What do
the
you
song.
mean? He got frustrated. In what situation did he get frustrated?
Well, he was like, he was like, what the fuck kind of shit is that?
About the song?
Yeah,
Okay. And how did you respond?
I didn't say nothing. I just kind of just
Did he besmirch Menudo? He was like, "Enrique Iglesias is stupid." And she was like, "Oh, hell no, brah." And it was on after that. He was like, "Look, I like original Menudo." And he was like, after, oh gosh. Who does Live in La Vida Loca? Because I know he was a big person, but then we all found out he was gay. Ricky Martin. He was like, "If it's not Menudo with Ricky Martin, I'm out." And she's like, "No, it's like the Hanson of Mexican." And he's like, "I'm out." You know what I need to go listen to? I am sure they have a Spanish language Nickelback that we must find, because this is hilarious. I am going to go find the Spanish language lyrics to Nickelback.
giggled a little bit.
How did that make you feel when he?
I was embarrassed.
Did that piss you off?
No.
Did you guys?
Then why
get
did
in
you
an argument
stab
about it?
him?
No,
Get
but
to
he,
the
like, got
part
up,
where you
like,
stabbed
all
him.
mad and changed the song. I was like, okay. He just kind of left it. Like I tried to understand.
What do you mean try to understand?
Like I don't know. Like I wouldn't understand the fact that somebody that doesn't speak that language wouldn't hear that music. You know?
Okay. So you move on from the song?
Yeah.
Okay. What happens after that? You said the little things. Did something else happen after the song?
Well, that was basically it.
Okay. What do you guys all do after he changes the song?
Nothing. We heard music for a little bit more. Then we went to go take more shots in the kitchen.
Okay. So you go into the kitchen. How many more shots do you take, if you can remember?
I want to say like 2 or 3.
Okay. Each. Okay.
There.
They're like half shots.
Okay. But 2 or 3 half shots each.
Yeah.
What kind of, is this different?
Y'all, we are still waiting for when she gets pissed off enough to stab him 5 times with a metal file. Yes, Thor, you are, in fact, the bestest ever.
different if you're taking shots versus just taking it out of the bottle?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess let me clarify that. Were you just drinking it from the bottle?
No, it was in a cups the whole time.
Okay. What size were those cups?
It was probably like the size of like double this cup.
Like a
Okay,
Dixie
you
cup?
and Dingus, the boob
Were
shelf
the shots
has
all the way up to the top of that?
gotten small.
Oh, no.
When you're talking about half shots, are we talking about like half of a Dixie cup size?
That would be if you're like a regular shot or more. So they were like a little bit less.
Okay. Did you ever take shots of water?
No,
Did you ever pour shots of water for you and Hosana?
no,
Did you ever give
the
Chris
mic.
something to drink that you weren't drinking?
no.
So tell us what happens after that. You're taking shots in the kitchen. What's going on?
Nothing. We started to talk more about ourselves and like he just was asking questions, and then he asked us if we've ever been like to jail or prison.
Objection. May we approach?
Sure.
Christopher, that's what we call foreshadowing. And yes, these women will both be visiting prison. You just sadly won't be here to see it. Yes, I'm sorry. I stopped. When he realized. Stop. Sir.
Okay. Stacy, so you all are having a conversation in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And does Mr. Dickerson share some things with you about like violence he's seen before without telling us where he saw that?
Yeah.
Objection, Your Honor. Same objection.
Can we approach?
Yes.
I do not know. I will say that this judge has been very fair, I think very willing to listen to both sides. Both sides have really actually been on top of things. Even when I don't agree with the defense's general narrative or the story they're trying to push, they have got all of the, oh, for Thor, for the constellation of hair. They do have like all of their cases cited. They are very zealous. Both sides have been really on top of it. And the judge was even nice enough to not send Hosana's family out of the, trial when they called one of the defense prosecutors an effing B word. Yes, this has happened in this trial. Stacy has the unfortunate body quirk that she licks her lips like a lizard, and it's really gross. No, sir, down. I'm now covered in fur. Thank you.
And I'm sorry.
Chucky, I will say that she's actually, chimed in, got some things excluded. Both of them have been really good at, they were very on top of it with the state star witness and really pulling holes in her
Ladies and
particular
gentlemen,
testimony.
we're going to go ahead and take our afternoon break at this time. I want to remind you that until the trial is complete.
Mr. Dickerson's character for violence based on what he told Miss Rodriguez. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct. So I told you under 403, the criminal history, him being in prison, I'm not going to allow you to get into that. And I told you that him merely witnessing violence, I don't think is probative or relevant as to his character for aggressiveness. Since at least the information that I have right now wasn't that he was a participant or instigator or anything like that. That the sole issue that was presented to me was that he witnessed some type of violence in I don't know what setting.
So if Miss Rodriguez testifies that she was aware of violence he had committed while in prison, I can exclude the prison part, but is that sufficient for the court under 404A and then People v. Vasquez?
If you have evidence of something that Ms. Rodriguez is aware of,
Yes.
that is different.
Okay.
Something that's an actual awareness of an act of violence, and then obviously under 404, I think it's A2. If the state wants to bring in character for peacefulness evidence, I think that's at play then. But it has to be something that's an act of violence, not an implication. So the mere fact that somebody went to prison, I don't find as probative of them having a character for violence. And the mere fact that they've witnessed a violent act, I don't find as probative to a character for violence. But if there's something more than that, which hasn't been presented to me so far, then I suppose it's a possibility. But I don't know what you have, so I can't really speak to that.
out of an abundance of caution, as the offer proves, we don't have another bench conference, is that Mr. Dickerson told Ms. Rodriguez of violence he committed while he was in prison. Is that sufficient?
Well, and I'll ask if that is an offer of proof, what would the state's position be?
I would absolutely object to that because there's no proof of that. And Judge, Mr. Dickerson's prior criminal history is 3 felonies. 2004 was class 5 forgery. There were multiple probations. He got revoked. He did 1 year DOC. In 2008, it was an F6 attempted first-degree criminal trespass of a dwelling. He received a community correction sentence that was regressed and did 15 months Department of Corrections. And I believe in 2010, he had an F6 possession of controlled substance, which he did DOC. None of those are violent. All of that is contrary to well-established case law. That
Well, and just to make sure that we're talking about the right thing, Mr. Yo, if I'm understanding correctly, we're not talking about the prison, the circumstances of the sentence. This is about some act that happened. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Well, yeah, there needs to be more than that because they're still going to get out the fact that he was in prison and witnessed violence. I think they're doing an end run around the
You know, I don't like these clear glasses on him. I think it very much accentuates either a bald spot or a lack of pigment spot over here. So I think it just draws the eye there. I will say he's got snappy suits. Now, that being said, when Mr. Mo got out of the military, we invested in a nice suit for him because all he had was his uniform. But I could never get him into some of the stripedy suits. So this particular lawyer is living all of my Mr. Mo suit dreams. The lady lawyers, yeah, I don't like the beige.
whole 404 character evidence, and it's simply not. It's not allowable under 401, 402, 403, and 404, and 807. If I can.
Mr. Mo wasn't like Sergeant Hartman. He was more like the medical department guy. So the guy that gave you all your shots before you had to deploy and made sure you had all your shots and your lab work and you were able to deploy. That's kind of where Mr. Mo was for the National Guard for 20 years. He was full-time and he would make sure everyone that was deploying had all of their medical stuff and at least were squared away there. Now, it is the government, so whether they were squared away with anything else, yes, and this is still direct, you guys. I am so desiring to skip through direct to get to the fireworks I know we're going to have during, cross, but we need to know what she said on direct.
These are non-violent prior crimes.
And we're not talking about the crime.
I understand that, but they're going to get out that he was in prison and either witnessed it or did violent acts in prison. I mean, that's absolutely contrary to the character evidence rules, as well as it's for prior violent acts. Case laws establish that evidence of a victim's prior violent acts; those are not violent.
And I think we're not talking about the same thing. So I
know we're not talking about the same thing, Judge. My problem is that they're going to end run that, and they're going to have her testify that he was in prison and either participated in or witnessed violent acts. I mean, that's simply not admissible under the rules.
Here's what I'm going to do to make it.
Here's my question for men in the chat. Now, is that what you get? Is that the type of ear you get from wrestling? And why does he only have one wrestling ear? Was he so do you only target one ear? Are you right-eared? Because I know you're left-handed, right-handed, but when you duke it out, do you just go for the ear? Because that's what it looks like happened to this man. And I don't understand any sports that require physicality. I'm much more of a mahjong type inside cat person.
Violent acts. I mean, that's simply not admissible under
So
the rules.
here's what I'm going to do to make it clear, because I think we're just going in circles now at this point in time. So, Mr. Hio, I've told you prison, location being prison. I think you're clear with that I'm not going to allow that type of evidence. 404A2 allows in a criminal case evidence of a pertinent trait of character of the alleged victim of the crime offered by an accused. So if you have evidence or testimony relating to an act of violence that Ms. Rodriguez.
I do not know, Sticky Widget. So here's a funny thing, and this is how you know the universe, life, God, or the great Pastafarian, spaghetti monster in the sky works out for a reason. So had Baby Mo, right out of high school, Baby Mo, 2002. didn't know that life was going to kick her right in the left tit. She was so optimistic. Okay, she was Daria sarcastic level optimistic about life. She went off to basic training because she was going to be a medical technician. Had I actually passed basic training, I would have met Mr. Mo. But I would have met him when he was married and technically my superior. So, me being fluffy and not being able to run means that, I didn't meet him for another 14 or so years. No, wait. Okay, so I didn't meet him for another 10 years. And we both got married and then unmarried. It was the circle of life. I just always find that to be a very interesting story. Had my life worked out the exact way that I was wanting it to, this life that I have now wouldn't have happened, which generally everyone has those stories, but it was always just interesting to me, that particular story. God made me terrible for running so that I could make Mr. Mo crazy on the daily. It's so romantical.
Was aware of, then I will allow you to put on that evidence. You haven't said whether that took place in prison or in some other location, but if it did take place in prison, then I will not allow you to present that evidence. And if that evidence gets presented, then I'm probably going to cut you off for not following my order.
I understand
So,
that.
and if you need to proceed by leading questioning to make sure that we don't have that problem, then that's fine.
Okay.
But it's clear to me under 404A2 that that's in play. It's also clear to me that because this is a homicide case, that then any evidence as to his character for peacefulness is also at play, and then we'll deal with that when we get to it. I don't think this is a particularly complicated issue, but I want to make sure that however that evidence is presented, that it is not an end run around the court's previous 403 ruling regarding the prison conviction, anything that has to do with the victim being in custody, which I think I hear Mr. McCormick is that concern. So,
there's plenty of case law that holds that evidence of specific instances of victims' prior violence is inadmissible unless the defendant knew of these acts at the time.
That's exactly, Mr. McCormick. So here, let me make sure that I tell everybody just sort of the basic structure of how we do things in this courtroom. So when I am called upon to address a legal issue, then I will give party A an opportunity to tell me whatever they want to tell me. I will give party B an opportunity to tell me whatever they want to tell me, and then I will make a ruling. What I'm not going to do is do that, make a ruling, and then have the parties tell me, well, I have some other stuff to say. I'm not going to do that. So I've heard from the state, I've heard from the defense, I've made my ruling. If anybody is unclear in my ruling, I'm happy to answer.
Sir, can you adopt me? Because first of all, sir, you're going to make a great dad. Because look at this man. He's like, you're acting like an idiot, but I'm the dad. So this is how things go in my house. And if you touch the thermostat, you're all in trouble. I must say that I didn't really know or get a feel for this judge until the lawyers started acting ridiculous. But I really like how he's very jovial. He's not mean, but he's laying down the law and he's explaining exactly how things are going to go in his courtroom. And he's going to pull over. None of us are getting a Frosty. So shut up, y'all. Damn. Every time dad's in a good mood, then brothers and sisters. And it's always us, good kids just being quiet, just like, we're getting a Frosty, just keep my mouth shut. And we get a Frosty, just keep my mouth shut. And you always have that one sibling who's like, I see mom's last nerve and I'm going to light it on fucking fire. And you're over here in your little world like, getting a Frosty, keeping my mouth shut, getting my Frosty, keeping my mouth shut. And you hear, what? And you're like, oh, damn. He had to say something, didn't he?
A question. I think I've done my best to make myself as clear as I possibly can, but maybe I have failed in that effort. So if anybody needs clarification, I'm happy to answer a clarification question. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to give the parties a chance to argue once, and then they don't like my ruling, and then give the party.
And if you were that sibling, a special daggone, screw you to you. Because listen, most of us siblings were just doing the good thing, like keeping mom happy, going to get a Frosty. She seems like in a good mood. Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, get Sully. Sully, get mom in a good mood. We're getting a Frosty. Maybe we'll get to go to Blockbuster too. And it's you know? And it's always that one sibling who's like, oh, by the way, I failed my, math test and I'm, expelled. And I'm like, damn, I was going to get double movies and a box of candy. And then we have to go home and be grounded.
Parties a chance to argue again because that is inefficient. If you want me to consider something, then you better tell me everything that you want me to consider the first time around. So from the defense, do you have any clarification? Is that clear?
I do need clarification.
Tammy Fayette, on that point. So, as I've told you guys, my appetite's been hit or miss here lately. And Mr. Mo was out taking the boys to do something, and I was like, if you could, and I got the pictures from the website. I was like, this is exactly what I want from Dairy Queen. If you could get those things. And my youngest, most feral, I'm not even gonna, you know what? I think it'll be okay. No one's in the house with me. It's probably one of the cats. But I will say that my youngest came in because he got the, grand honor of bringing me the food. And he's like, Mom, I know we're supposed to be sorry that your leg hurts and that you can't walk and stuff. But if you always get Dairy Queen because your leg hurts, I love your leg. And then he ran out. So I was like, I told Mr. Mo, I said, your son has realized that me being crippled means he gets Dairy Queen somewhat occasionally. He's like, yeah, you should have your leg hurt more often. We like ice cream. And I'd like to tell you that I got to finish my Dairy Queen Blizzard by myself. I got maybe a couple bites and then I can't eat all that ice cream at one time, so I'll put it back in the freezer. I would like to tell you that I saw hide nor hair of that Blizzard after I got a couple bites, but I didn't. So, in kid logic, if your parent breaks their leg, you get ice cream. Therefore, every parent gets a broken leg and every kid gets ice cream.
Sure.
If Miss Rodriguez testifies, and I will admonish her about this, she's also sitting right here, but the fact of she learned about prior acts of violence by Mr. Dickerson, from Mr. Dickerson, so long as we're not placing it in prison, that is okay.
That is correct. And I think it's pretty clear. So I think the parties are in notice that if, despite what I've tried to be very clear about, that comes out, then I'm just going to cut that off.
I understand that. We are not conceding that prison is not relevant, but I do understand what the court's position is. I am looking at People v. Vasquez, 148 Pacific 3rd, 326, Colorado Appeals 2006, as well as People v. Burris, 515 Pacific 2nd, 4.
Stacy's like, he done told me. I'm going to tell him. I'm just going to do whatever I think. And the lawyer's like, please, for the love of God, you can say what he told you, but you can't say that he was in prison or these kind of things. And Stacy's like, so I can say he was in prison. No! Look, defense attorneys, Stacy is going to cock this up for you, which is ironic because she's, not a fan of cocks, but she's going to screw this up for you. It's going to be a clam jam, a clitorference, if you will. I would just not ask the question. But
60, 1973, just for the record.
Okay. And I fundamentally disagree that the mere fact that somebody has been in prison makes that person an aggressive or violent person. Any request for clarification from the state?
I apologize, but yes.
Okay.
I understand what the court's talking about with 404A2. I totally understand. What I think the court needs to analyze is the specifics. And specifically, the defense is going to do an end run by saying, prior to killing this person, who can't come in and testify, he told.
see, these are the siblings I'm talking about. Dad done said, look, this is what we're doing. This is what I said. Dad done said that. And these two morons are going to get Dad to turn this trial around because he done said he said. Like when he says, he says. Now you're going to get final form, Dad, and it's going to be upsetting.
Told me he committed violent acts. Violent acts where he would have killed people, presumably. He can't come in and testify, and his criminal history doesn't back any of that up. There's no sufficient circumstances around it. So that is the problem.
Mr. Perelia, that doesn't sound like a request for clarification. That sounds like more argument, but perhaps I am misinterpreting it. I was not on the committee that created.
Okay, now, for those people with a really long fuse, this man is giving all the signs that he is about to lose his effing mind. again, when nice, reasonable, soft-spoken, and, you know, very clear dad has done told you guys something and you continue to argue, look, I'm gonna get a Frosty. You know what? Us good kids are gonna get a Frosty, and we're just gonna like eat it real slow in front of you. It's like, Dad is the best dad. He gives me Frosties. I'm glad I know when to shut up my mouth because I'm gonna open my mouth for my Frosty right now.
The rules of evidence, but I am just surmising that the reason that the committee that created these rules of evidence made a specific exception in a homicide case for rebuttal evidence regarding a character trait of peacefulness of the alleged victim is precisely because of what you've addressed. Because there seems to be no other reason why they would make that very specific carve out in a homicide case. Obviously, that person can't defend themselves, so the opposing party then has that opportunity to present whatever evidence they want to present if they choose to do so as to characters, evidence relevant to a character trait of peacefulness. So I don't know what you guys are going to do. It's none of my business what you guys are going to do. But if you're saying that's unfair because the victim is dead and can't defend himself, I assume that that's why that provision in 404A2 is there. All right, let's go ahead and bring, Ms. Rodriguez, I'm going to have you have a seat at the witness stand. I'm going to bring the jury in and we're going to resume.
He's like, I'm done talking. He's not even, nope, don't talk. Just be quiet, ma'am. Stop messing with your pants, ma'am. It's just not a good look.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. Mr. Heel, you may resume. Ms. Rodriguez, I will remind you that you are still under oath.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Rodriguez, I apologize. I'm gonna show you this again, okay?
Okay.
How do you feel looking at that?
Probably true.
Objection.
What's the basis for the objection?
Call for sympathy.
All right, I'll overrule the objection.
Ms. Rodriguez, how do you feel looking at that?
A lot of emotions, like,
Can you tell us what an emotion? Is it making you nervous?
yeah.
Bleeding.
I'll
True.
allow the question.
Are you scared?
I wouldn't necessarily say scared, but somewhat.
Okay. Can you explain what that somewhat is about?
Like I feel like it's just like the main thing that goes back to.
Here's the difference between, and regardless of how you feel politically or otherwise about the, Rittenhouse case, you could tell every single time that Binger was asking him a question that he was reliving that night in his mind. In fact, to the point that he had what appeared to be a legitimate panic attack as they started getting into the night's events. I would expect her to be fidgeting. I would expect to say it brings it all back. What Stacy isn't gathering is that this is her opportunity, regardless of whether it's in her, nature to be loquacious and verbal and, go on. This is the time where she is supposed to be getting all of those jurors to step in her shoes and, show the justifiableness of this. It's also not good because I believe they might have shown her an autopsy picture, and Heifer was looking at the autopsy pictures like, real. That is what a trachea looks like. So she is doing a spectacularly bad job of getting the jury anywhere on board with her. It is like her attorney is trying to pull teeth to get this woman to tell her story.
Does it bring you back to October 3rd?
Yeah, it does.
Is that difficult to talk about?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about it a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So, we were talking about the shiv that he showed you. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's not a shiv. It's a metal file. Look. And why did you think it was a shiv, Miss, Orange is the New Black? Like, you know all about prisonology? Okay. The use of the word shiv here is just about as ridiculous as the tinfoil obsession that Megan Boswell's attorney had.
Is that a piece of it?
Yes.
Did a piece break off at one point?
Yes, it did.
And we're going to get into that. Okay.
Okay.
I want to, I'm going to move this. Okay.
Okay.
Did Mr. Dickerson ever share with you fights he had been in before?
Yeah, he did.
When we were talking about a conversation, do you remember us just talking about before the break a conversation you all were having in the kitchen?
Yes.
Did that come up in that conversation you had in the kitchen?
Yes, it did.
And without saying, where these occurred, okay? Besides the conversation in the kitchen, but what he's telling you, okay? Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. Can you please tell us what he said about the fights without saying where they occurred?
She's gonna bring in prison. She's gonna bring in prison. Let's see how she does with this. This is a slow pitch. We've actually switched to dodgeball. We've lowered and we've put bumpers out. So let's see if she can kick this out of the park.
Like what he did or what he seen?
What he did.
He said that he would fight and that he would always have that thing with them.
Okay. When we talk about that thing, are we talking about that file?
Yeah.
Okay. And did he tell you that he always had that with him before or after you saw it?
After he showed it to us.
Okay. So just for clarity purposes, did he tell you about the fights before you saw that?
No, it was after he brought it out.
Okay, so that conversation happened in
Yeah,
one
all that
time.
happened after.
Okay. And are you still in the kitchen?
Yeah.
When he tells you that he got in fights before and always had that on him, how did that make you feel?
Uncomfortable.
Why?
Because, I don't know, it's just not something, that's not what a normal conversation would go to, so I'm just like, oh,
Okay. At that point, did you start to feel a little nervous about being around him?
Yes, I did.
I will sustain the objection. If you want to rephrase, go ahead.
Were you nervous to be around him?
Yeah, I was.
Was that after that conversation you had?
Yeah.
Was it after seeing that file?
Yes.
What made you feel uncomfortable or nervous?
Just the fact that he brought it out after I had, yeah.
Okay. Was it after you had asked him a question?
Yeah.
And when you had asked him a question, was it kind of just about the fights and what he had gone through?
Yeah.
And did you ask him about the fights and what he had gone through? And what did you ask him?
I don't know how to say that without like.
Okay. Yeah. Did you ask him that having the fights with that weapon on him, did you ask him if that made him a man?
Not specifically.
And Ms. Rodriguez, I have to rule on the objection first. I'll allow that question.
Do you want me to re-ask that?
Yeah.
Okay. When he was telling you that he had gotten in fights before with other people and had always had that file on him, the shiv that you called it, did you ask him if that made him a man?
Yeah, but not particularly to that.
What do you mean to that? Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
That's helpful. When you asked him, does that make you a man? What did you mean by asking him that?
About where he was at when these places took place.
Yeah. Were you were you trying to put him down?
No.
Were you more or less asking him if that made him a man?
I'm going to allow the leading question given the record I previously made.
Did you ask him if that made him a man in the sense of it made him grow up?
Yeah, the problem with that is the shiv is already going to have it's already going to be intrinsically linked to prison. So whether they talked about him being in prison or not, the defense was actually very clever here, calling it a shiv, because they are back ending this. And I will say that this defense team is very strategic like this. And if they had a client that was able to work with them, I think they could have made a convincing case. The problem is that you have Stacy to work with, and she can't even get slow pitches, so she's not going to be able to help you craft this further narrative of anything.
Yeah, it was more like a general question along that, yes.
Okay. If it made him more mature
Yeah.
or changed who he was.
Yeah, the mindset to be better.
When you asked him that question, how did Mr. Dickerson respond?
He was upset
How could you tell he was upset?
because he took a step closer and he's like, "Are you calling me a bitch?"
Okay.
And he's like, what'd you say? Are you calling me a bitch?
Can you, and he, I just want it to be clear, you said, does that make you a man?
She's been held in county for the whole time, and she actually had a very intricate design that looked like it had a black widow or something. Thor, what are you getting into? But she's been in the jail, and she has lovely long hair. Of all the attributes she has, I'm very jealous of her long hair. I want my hair to be that long. I'm just thinking of how much her scalp probably hurts because, look, y'all, I tried cornrows once when I was in basic training, and the girl she was my same age. The woman who did it was so sweet and used so much product that I had no idea how much gel you use on your hair when you do cornrows. Also, how tight those MFers are. I don't think I slept a full week in basic because of those things. Just, my head hurt. So I salute you if you get your braids done. Holy God, that is scapular torture. Now every time I see a little girl with beautiful braids, I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, your poor head. You are braver than I am.
Man, and he said, what, are you calling me a bitch?
He said, what did you say? Are you calling me a bitch?
And what did you say?
No.
Did you try to explain what you meant by that question?
Yeah, well, he asked me to say it again, so I did.
How did you feel when he said, say it again?
That I shouldn't say it again, but he kept asking me, so I felt like I had to.
Can you please tell us where you were when you were having this conversation? Just where you were first.
I was in the middle of the kitchen.
Was your back toward anything?
Not at this point, no.
Thor, out of there.
I want to see if a diagram might be helpful. I apologize. So, Ms. Rodriguez, I kind of want to talk about this over here. Can you hear me?
So it sounded like they said forgery, not following probation. So it sounds like with all of his crimes, he wasn't following probation. So the first time in prison was for forgery, and then I think not doing well on probation. The second time was, I believe, trespass without permission, and then the third time was controlled substances. And I think all three times he failed to do whatever they were asking him for probation and got sent to prison. But none of those are any violent crimes, which is why they are not allowed to bring in that part of it. Not to mention he doesn't have any sort of history of violence. So the defense isn't working with someone who's shown that they're, a mean drunk or things like that. So they really are having to assassinate Chris's character when he's not here to defend himself, so that this looks justifiable.
Yes. Okay. So this conversation in the kitchen when he's telling you that he's been in fights before and has a pedophile with him all the time, and he kind of gets upset that you ask him if that made him a man, you're in this area of the home.
Yeah, kind of like a little bit in front where the word kitchen is. Yeah, kind of like where, like right here, like right there.
Okay. What is right here? Do you remember?
It's kind of close to like I believe there's a refrigerator, and then there's like a table right here.
And then here, is this a door to go to the garage?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. When you are here and having this conversation, how does he approach you when you said he was angry?
So he was like initially standing right here, and then he takes like a step closer towards me. I'm like right here.
And then what happens?
He continues to keep getting closer, and like he starts yelling and stuff.
How close is he when he's yelling at you?
He's pretty close. Like I could feel his breath in my face.
Okay, here's the problem with that. Right out of this kitchen is a way out. Right out of here is a way out. Even if he's approaching you this way, you can leave the garage, and she's a big woman. She can push him away and leave. Even if he started to get aggressive, I understand there is no duty to retreat. I get that. But if you are extremely scared, push him and leave. You have the keys to your car. If Hosana doesn't want to leave, then you leave.
For having this conversation or argument with him, are you pushed up against anything at this point?
Well, I slowly started to go back
Okay, to this door to get to the garage?
to like the counters over here. I wasn't just walking backwards.
Okay, so you're just walking backwards blindly,
Yeah.
kind of?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you end up by these cabinets?
Yeah,
Tell us what happens then.
I couldn't go back more, so I started going to the side.
To this door?
More to the corner.
To the corner?
Yeah.
Okay, What happens when you move to the corner?
He gets my face even closer.
He gets in your face even closer?
Yeah.
What is he looking like when he's in your face?
He's like mad yelling.
How tall is he? Is he much taller than you?
Yeah, there's a big difference.
If he was standing above you, did you have to look up at him?
Yeah, I did.
So we're moving over to the corner. What happens when you're in the corner?
He like puts his arms like on the sides of me.
Okay. So he's putting his arms on the side of you. Is your back up against something?
Yeah, I was on the wall.
Okay, on the wall.
Yeah.
And the wall in the corner by the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Away from the cabinets.
Yeah.
And you said his hands are on the wall,
Yeah, but like on the sides of me.
on the sides of you,
Yeah.
above your shoulders.
No, like right at them.
Okay. Is he touching you?
No.
You said he's yelling at you.
Yeah.
What is he saying?
So you call me a bitch? He keeps like repeating the same thing over.
Is he yelling at you?
Yeah.
You said that his face was close to you, but he was taller than you. So was he looking
I
down on
believe
you?
he was
Yeah, he-
6'2", 6'3". So this is what it looks like. Obviously, I'm not a court artist yet, but his arms are on top of her. She's looking a bit like the Pillsbury Doughboy. But I mean, it's a artist interpretation. Yeah, he was tall, skinny. I think he was 6'2" and 150 pounds. Now, Stacy has claimed that she's 250 and 5'4". Now, having been 5'6" and 250, I can tell you that heifer is lying, okay? Even with the loss of 2 inches, that heifer is lying, okay? That is a solid 3 right there. And I'm not, throwing shade at anyone. I'm just saying, look, as a fluffy to another fluffy, that ain't, look, not the thing that you lie on your driver's license. Yes. Oh my gosh, you guys, I was with my oldest, well, she's not even feral, but my oldest daughter when she got her license, and she was trying to think of her real weight. And I looked at her dead in the face and I said, sweetheart, this is a lie that both the government and I agree on. I just say 125, and I hope that whoever pulls me over doesn't laugh. Or if he does laugh, he says, in your bra. And then I'll know that I've been seen and we understand each other, and I'll take the ticket gladly.
He was.
Could you feel his breath?
Yeah.
Could you feel anything else coming from his face?
Yeah, he was kind of like spitting a little bit, so it was kind of hitting me in my face.
Did you feel like he was intentionally spitting on you?
I don't feel like he was intentionally spitting on me, but I feel like just like the whole thing of like the whole yelling and like being angry, like he like lost control of his like saliva or something because it was hitting me.
Okay. What happens then? He has his hands on either side of you, towering over you, yelling in your face where you can feel his breath. What happens next?
Give me just a second here.
Yeah, counselor is testifying. She's been doing it.
I'll allow
All
the
the time.
question as to what happened next.
I'll rephrase. Or I will say it again. You're in the corner. His arms are over you. He is leaning over you, yelling in your face, saying, did you call me a bitch? You can feel his breath and his spit. What happens?
Well, I kind of just like, I was trying not to make eye contact or nothing because I didn't want to do something that was going to like escalate the situation. So I wasn't trying to make him think I was like trying to stand up to him. So I wasn't making eye contact. So I was kind of just looking off to the side.
Okay. Where's Hosana?
She's like right next to me.
What is she saying?
Well, at first I think like it caught her off guard.
Okay. Did she ever say anything?
Yeah, she does.
What did she say?
She tells him to get off of me.
What do you do at that point?
When he turned around to look at her, I pushed him back.
Tell me about how you pushed him back.
So he's like right in front of my face, and when he turned to look at Hosana, when she had told him to get off of me or get away from me, when he turned, I like just pushed him off me.
How hard did you push him?
Honestly, in that moment, I really don't know.
Okay. Where did he go?
He didn't go.
Well, I mean, you pushed him. What happened?
He went back.
Okay. Did he stumble over his feet?
Yeah, he stumbled over his feet, but he didn't fall to the ground.
Okay. Did he run into anything when you pushed him?
He kind of like grabbed the refrigerator.
Can you show us here? If you're in this corner still, correct?
Mhm.
Where's the refrigerator?
Like right here.
Okay. Yep. So is this the refrigerator?
Yeah, that's right there.
Okay. So you push him back. Does he come this way and grab onto the refrigerator?
Yeah, like on the side of it, kind of.
What do you do when he grabs onto the refrigerator?
During this whole moment, I grabbed Hosana's hand.
She's JKD Buck. She's like, by the power of Tahoe, I will dump truck your ass.
And then, yeah,
What happens?
I tried to leave.
Where did it go?
Towards the front door.
So now we are here, and
Yeah.
you are trying to get the front door. Show me how that happens.
So he's like right here, like obviously out of balance after that. And so Hosana was like right here. So I came this way, I grabbed her hand, and like we
Except that the refrigerator is over here, and you're saying that he's grabbing onto the refrigerator for stability. So how did he get over to the corner? This is the dumbest thing I've ever...
like ran, but I couldn't get the door open. It was like, I don't know if it
X to doubt that either of these two ran. And I say this as a person who didn't run, who doesn't run.
was like my nerves getting in the way, or like there's something wrong with the lock, which I still don't know, you know?
What happens at the door?
Couldn't get my hands to get it open.
Okay. And then what happened?
He pulled Hosana.
When you had left the kitchen and went to the door, was Mr. Dickerson behind you?
Well, I wasn't looking back. Obviously, my only thing I was focusing on is getting to the front door.
Okay. When
This bitch was like, Hosana, I'll see you later. She's like, Hosana, if you make it, come to the car.
you get to the front door, you said he grabbed Hosanna's arm.
Well, he grabbed her like shirt. I don't know if he had grabbed her hand before that, but like what I had seen, it was a shirt.
Okay. And then what happened?
I told him to leave her alone.
And what did you do after that?
So like I kind of like moved her, and then he pushed me
How did he push you?
onto the couch
Can you explain how he pushed you onto the couch?
with his hands.
Okay. Did he use both hands?
Yeah, he did.
When he pushed you, did you lose your balance?
Yeah,
How did you fall into the couch?
kind of sideways.
I call X to doubt. Look, if you are 325 and you are low center of gravity, I mean, she's a shorter woman. She's 5'4". I don't think I could push her over. Granted, she was drunk. This is so dumb. Stacy, when she asks you, how did he push you over? What she is saying is, he used both arms. It was really hard. I lost my balance. I fell onto the couch. I was disoriented. This is your time where you get to talk, because in cross, they're going to ask you a yes or no question. Also, I think she might be a weeble. Prove me wrong.
Okay. Were you on your back?
I was more on my side.
Can you explain that a little bit? So if you're on your side on the couch, are you like on a side like this, or just kind of halfway on the couch?
I was like all the way on the couch, but it was like, yeah, more on my side.
Where were your legs?
One was like kind of dangling off the couch, and one was off.
All right, who do I need to get a class action lawsuit against this lawyer? I have too much of a terrible, degenerate imagination, and all I'm thinking is Stacy's on her back and her legs are akimbo, and I don't need to be thinking none of those things. Look, it is Lent. I cannot use brain bleach. Daggone it.
All the way on the couch.
Where were your arms?
Like this.
Okay. Where was Mr. Dickerson?
Right in front of me, but then
But then what?
he came on me.
What happened when he came on you?
I see why there was violence now. Just gonna let that one, you know what? It's Lent and God is trying to test me. I'm gonna just leave that there.
I like just try to back up, but it like, so at this point, like I'm already like all the way on the couch.
Okay.
And so he gets on top of me and he's like holding my arms down. And he's like still yelling, and he's like,
How was he holding your arms?
he was like kind of just up here. He was like cuffed, but it was like both of them. So he's like over me with one leg on the floor, and then one leg was on me. And then
I see what had happened. They were trying to play Twister, but they didn't have the board, so it wasn't like right hand blue. It was like left hand lesbian, right hand tall, white, and nerdy. It was combat Twister is all.
yeah,
Okay. If you are on the couch, Mr. Dickerson
Take a
is
drink.
holding
I'm
your
sure it'll
arms like
help
this.
you.
Is that fair to say?
yeah,
He has one leg on the ground, and is the other leg up on the couch holding you down.
yes.
Are you able to get away?
No shot. Again, No shot. There is a reason that people that are bigger go to higher weight classes because they are used to moving their body. They have extra muscle built up. That's why you typically won't see, a 90-pound person lift the same amount of weight as, a 300-pound strong man. There's just different body mechanisms in work, and it's the ratio of your body weight. So I don't think that Mr. Dickerson at 150 pounds, could keep her on the ground. Although it does make me question that family of 17 with the wife who's built somewhat like Stacy and the dad that's built somewhat like Chris. Okay, chat, would it be wrong to ask them to do a enactment and film it for my channel?
At that moment, no.
Did you try to wiggle away?
Yeah, obviously, yes.
Okay, what did you do?
I kind of just kept going, like, trying to, like, get his hands off me. And so I ended up, like, he just wouldn't get off me. So I ended up, like, I was trying to reach for something. So I ended up grabbing a bottle.
What kind of bottle?
I want to believe it was, I'm not 100% sure. It might have been a Budweiser, but at that point I was ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happens when you try to grab a bottle?
I ended up like barely reaching the tip of it. So I was like putting it closer, trying to reach it. And then I eventually got it with like the tips of my fingers. So I ended up like grabbing it. And I just went like that, but it went over him.
Okay.
This cannot get any more hilarious. So you're saying that he had you were fingering a bottle while he was trying to hold you on the couch? There is just so much comic gold in this, and if someone hadn't died, it would be hilarious. But none of this is ringing as true. I'm sure you probably watched The Hunger Games or, Orange is the New Black, and you thought you could, kind of get your way. But your voice hasn't changed. Again, even the ones that we don't quite believe, like Sarah Boone, at least her voice sort of changed a little bit. You are not selling self-defense if you're going to keep a flat affect because no one thinks you're upset. Again, it seems like you would be more upset if someone didn't give you the extra French fries when you biggie sized it. Show a little bit of passion. I mean, this is the part where you show passion, where you're like, he tried to take Hosana back. I was in fear for my life. I had to get him. I mean, even Theodore Edgecombe tried.
Where was the beer bottle when you grabbed it?
It was on the floor, like when you're like, when you're like the couch, like like the part that like usually goes behind your legs.
Okay.
So like on the floor, right in front of the couch.
Okay. Did you grab the top, like the neck of the bottle?
Yeah.
Was he still holding onto your arms?
Yeah, he was.
So how did you throw that?
I kind of just, he was still holding me down, but I just went like,
Okay. Did it hit him?
no.
Do you know where it went?
It went over him. I know that.
Okay.
And Hosana is not one fucking place, but felony adjacent. She's just standing there doing nothing. Now you're telling me that, look, even if she is your, love of your life who you cheat on, randomly and, well, a lot, if you see her on the couch, you're going to get in and you're going to start, honey badgering it. I mean, listen, now, Mr. Mo would probably be in a bar fight because of me and not in spite of me. But I'd try really hard. I'd be like, you get him, honey. I'm calling the cops. I'm filming this for Team World Star. I mean, let's be real. I would not go to bars because I run my mouth a whole hell of a lot.
What happened after you threw the bottle?
And like the whole thing continued, and I just kept telling him, I was like, please, please,
Okay. Did he get off of you?
no.
What happened next?
So I,
He did not get off. He did not get off. And, probably one of the only honest things that she said.
continued to yell at him, and I don't know why any other words didn't come out. Like, I don't know, like why I was just saying please at the moment, but Hosana goes and brings that thing he was just recently showing us.
Okay. Where did she get it from? Do you know?
I didn't even see her. At that moment wasn't paying attention, like when or how long she had it or like I don't know.
Did you ask her to grab it for you?
No, I didn't.
So she brings it over,
Yeah.
and then what happens?
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
He grabs it.
Okay. No, because this is some lethally blonde. What? No. Big, comfy couch. The fact that I know how to draw a couch is because of the big, comfy couch. Although that chick was flexible as shit. I wanted to be her when I grew up. And I kind of am. I get to do my handy dandy notebook and everything. Oh my God, I am real life Steve right now. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how. Okay, so he is on top of her, which this looks mildly graphical, but it's not. Is she going to say that she Sharyukened him from down below into the necular region, like we are going full Atomic Blonde? Also, your your side chick didn't ask for it. She just, I mean, look, I know Hosana cheats, but if a chick brings you a shiv, it does kind of look like Big Hero 6. I had to erase it real quick because I was like, oh, this is going to get me, not kid friendly. This is not a kid friendly stream. If you are a child and you have wandered onto this stream looking for Roblox codes, get off of here and tell your parents to check your parental codes because they are wrong. All right, so this is where we get to why she stabulates him just a little bit.
Did you feel that she was giving it to him?
For a long time, like, I feel like my mind has went back and forth on it. Like, she might have just not even been knowing what she was doing.
Okay.
Like, in my opinion, like, she was drunk, like, but like.
Wait, so Hosana then gives the shiv to the guy who's on top of you? Make it make sense, ma'am. Make it make sense.
I feel like that's more of like a situation like where sometimes you won't react like fast, like that's a situation where you have to like think like fast. And a lot of people don't think accurate when that happens. Like, I don't think at that moment that she thought in my head, like, this guy's, why would you bring that? Like, the situation's already.
That might be the most freaking coherent thing you've said. Y'all didn't think. You don't think in situations like that. And true. The only true thing in this entire fakakta story.
This, like, you bringing that just gonna, yeah.
So
yeah,
he
it was
grabs
all
it.
Hosana's fault. Why bring a shank?
And then what happens?
I was able to kind of like slide onto the floor.
Tell me how you were able to slide onto the floor.
So when he grabbed it, he got one hand off of me.
Okay. Where did he, so if, right, like you just saw me pretending that I was on top of you holding your arms down. He grabs it with what, how?
With that hand.
With this hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, if you are chunkular, everyone has been their chunkularness and you just don't want to get off the couch, so you just kind of slide off. Or look, if you are fluffy and you have decided to try to work out, and then the next morning you try to get out of bed and you're like, no, I'll just face plant onto my face because my legs don't like me. Yeah, I've decided not to make any more pictures. This But come on, we have all done the fatular, like slide out of bed. Or again, if you have, like y'all, when I walked my quarter of a mile, which is Everest for me, the next morning Mr. Mo was like, do you feel better that you took a walk? And I was like, well, I'm trying to consider if I just want to fall out of bed directly on my face. Oh my gosh, they see I'm fluffy, they know me. My little Debbie, they see me rolling. I got the good stuff. Little Debbie, not great value. I want to be with the skinnies, but they know I'm just wide and fluffy. Yes, she's just too wide and fluffy. Oh my gosh. If you do need something to clear your mind after this, I do recommend Weird Al Yankovic's Wide and Nerdy. The man has some flow. The man does. And if he wasn't radically vegan, we would be like the best friends. Can you imagine my shenanigans and his stuff? They see me rolling, but they know I just got that muffin top I'm a hiding. Jealousy. White and Nerdy is a work of art. It really is.
And then what does he do?
He grabs it, and then like I'm like obviously trying my hardest to like just leave from like away from him, you know. So I like
Yeah.
got onto the floor, but like because only one of his legs was positioned on the floor. So sorry.
That's okay. Take your time.
I'm just waiting to say, and I suplexed him, and then I was in a rear naked hold, which I don't understand what is rear and what is naked about it. Look, my older stepbrother did wrestling, and I can tell you that to this day, in my advanced age and low maturity, I still cannot hear rear naked chokehold without giggling like a schoolgirl. I do wonder. Jem, I know. That Dixie cup, I mean, she drinks as much as I do, and I have constant dry mouth because of my medications that I have to take in order to keep me, somewhat stable. Ish. It's an ish. Look, there's only so much, God, holy water, and big pharma can do together to keep my mouth under control.
When I had fell onto the floor, that one leg that he was keeping his balance on, he like obviously lost it because I went to the floor, you know. So when all that happened, I'm already going, so like he fell as well, but he pulled me, so like it was like kind of like a semi roll.
Okay.
Semi-roll,
When
okay.
you all rolled, where did you roll onto?
The floor.
Okay. And then when you rolled onto the floor, how was he grabbing you? Was he grabbing you?
Yeah, he was grabbing my shirt right here.
With one hand.
Yeah, with his.
She was
it would be his right
rolling.
hand.
What was his
All
other hand
around.
doing?
Yeah, it was holding the thing.
Okay. What were you doing?
Oh, no, he. Sorry,
That's okay.
I'm just like
Take a moment.
Okay.
Okay, when does she backhand him? Like, she's going full alligator death roll, but when does she stab him? Because right now, remember, during all of this,
So you get onto the ground.
Christopher still has the shank. So after she's done her alligator death roll and she's, getting her fighting stance because she remembers that Steven Seagal says that mindset is the first problem. And then she remembered Chuck Norris said, buy my Bowflex. And then she remembered the Tybo guy said, just warm up. So she was ready to go.
What are you doing when he's holding onto you with one hand?
Obviously trying to get his hand away,
Okay.
because he just when he grabbed me, he like went kind of like across and pulled me, you know. So
When you were on the ground.
yeah,
His other hand had held that.
yeah, but it was like he grabbed like. So like
Do you want me to come over
yeah,
there?
it was kind of like
Oh, God,
this hand
no.
went like on this side, so he kind of like grabbed me like
This?
yeah, but like, it was like
This?
yeah.
Okay. And then what?
So we were
So this is unfortunate, the size difference, but this would be akin to, I mean, maybe add 20 pounds to this particular defense attorney and give her 4 more inches. This is what it would have looked like. And this is what the jury is going to realize. The size difference, the differential is not going to sell the point. But continue to Sarah Boone it. Would you like to hit the suitcase as well?
rolled after that.
And then this hand has the metal file in it. So my right hand.
Counsel's testifying again. I'd ask her to come back to the lectern.
I'll allow the clarification given the witness's previous testimony.
It's up here in the right hand.
Yeah,
And while this is happening, are you on the ground? Okay.
Sure.
Cece, I want to just clarify one point, and then we will talk about what happened on the ground, okay?
Okay.
That shiv we've been talking about, did you believe that that had been used before in a violent situation?
yes, I did.
Objection. Same objection we previously had.
I'm sorry, give me just a second here.
And this is how they are trying to backdoor that
Mr.
prison
Hill, I'll
information.
Allow that limited question, but I'll ask that you mind my previous round.
Yes.
Sharon, may we just approach briefly?
Yes.
The judge done told y'all.
Okay. And you were shown that file by Mr. Dickerson.
And what the defense has been doing here, if you just came in, the murder weapon was a metal file. What the defense has cleverly been calling it is a shiv, because they are not supposed to be talking about his previous bad acts, the fact that he was in prison. But they labeled the metal file a shiv, again, letting the jury know that this man had been in prison. There are only so many connotations for a shiv. It was one of those big metal filey things, or a shank.
Did you learn from him that that file had taken countless souls before?
Yeah, he did say that.
Okay. So I want to go back to the couch when he has that in his hand. What is happening when you are on the floor?
We're on the floor.
You're on the floor.
We kind of like, well, at this point, we're already on our sides.
Can you say what side you were on?
Right.
Okay. Was he on his left?
Were you the big spoon or the little spoon?
Yeah, but he was like half laying down.
Okay.
And half on his side.
Half on his side?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened?
I sat up a little bit and I was trying to get it out of his hand.
You were trying to get out of his hand?
Yeah.
How?
So I went over him and I kept hitting his hand on the floor so he could let it go.
When you say you were getting over him, were you almost sitting up a little bit more?
Yeah.
Was he still on his side?
Yeah, why sat up?
Okay. And then you had two hands on his hands to get it off,
Yeah.
to get it out of his hands? Okay.
Objection, legal.
I'll sustain that objection. If you want to rephrase, Ms. Trujillo, go ahead.
Did you have two hands on him?
On his one hand, yeah.
Okay. And why did you have two hands on him?
Because obviously not strong enough to get it out of his hand with the one hand, but I was just trying to like hit it out of his hand. So like my hand was like on his palm and I was just hitting on the floor so he could let it go.
Where is his other hand?
On my shirts too.
In the same way that we just looked at grabbing you
No,
here?
it was like more down here at this point.
Okay. So is he consistently trying to grab you?
Yeah.
What happens after that?
He eventually let it go and I grabbed it, but then he like pushed me with my face and I fell back. And then so at this point,
Here's the problem, Stacy. I have never been in a physical fight in my life, like dukes up, fight for my life. But I can tell you that I wouldn't be able to tell the story and just kind of say, and yeah, that's what happened, and we were rolling, and, that thing. If you are in a life or death situation, your brain is going to encode that memory entirely different that it encodes any other sort of memory that you normally make. You might notice smells, you might notice sounds, you might not really remember body positioning, but you will be able to feel like the pressure of a hand on you. Or you'll be able to, there are certain things that will just stick out to you that are absolutely ridiculous as to why that is so important. If she was really retelling, a time where she nearly thought she was going to lose her life, where she had to take another life in a violent, aggressive fashion, it should affect her. Right now, it's like no F's given. And could I see Chris? So in the context of what she was saying, it sounds like he did go to prison. It sounds like she said, hey, does, carrying a shank make you a man? And he probably, in dumb, retarded, again, drunk fashion, was like, this shiv has taken thousands of souls. I'm a badass. Something stupid like that. Do I think he said it? Yes. Do I think that he said it in the full, Joker fashion after he done made a pen disappear in someone's eye? No. No, I don't.
it's already in my hand, And so I don't know how many times I had did it, but I just was going like that. But yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me how, when you say I was just going like that, can you tell me what you were doing?
Well, it was my hand.
Okay. And what was in your hand?
That thing.
Okay. And did you use that thing on Mr. Dickerson at that point?
Yes, I did.
How did you do that?
Well, I was just going like this.
Okay. Were you looking at him?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. What happened?
Wait a minute. You got a tight grouping of about 5 stab wounds, all to the necular region, and you did that without sight? Again, this soft talk, but it's very dismissive. It doesn't give any emotion. I don't know if they told her to, shelf the emotion and try to come across as clearly as she could. But this is no. You have to be looking. And honestly, she probably, if she was in a life or death situation, it would have been just, a body motion. But none of this gives me any of that. She could have been going to get laundry or a gordito as far as she's shown any sort of, give a rat's ass about Mr. Dickerson. The only time that she's been excited this entire trial has been when she was looking at the autopsy photos.
When you went like this?
Well, at that moment, I didn't think anything. And then he still was continuing to grab me. So I was kept kicking him and I sat up again. And that's when happened again and it broke.
Okay. Is this difficult to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
need to
can't
ask you a few more
remember the
questions, okay?
lie.
Okay. When he gets up and you kind of get up and you said it broke, can you tell me how it broke?
Well, when I obviously we're still fighting over this thing, so when I did it the last time, I fell when I did it.
Okay, you guys, I have a professional right here. So I don't know if I wasn't paying attention to okay, I know I wasn't paying attention to the lyrics, but the secret agent man, I always thought it said secret Asian man. And so I finally asked my mom one day, and she probably thought she should have paid more for therapy, but I was like, why does the man not know that he's Asian? And she looked at me with a perfect rendition of the disappointed dad face of this judge. And she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, the song. Why doesn't he know he's Asian? Does he not have a mirror? And my mom was like, what do you think the song is saying? And I was like, it's Secret Asian Man. Again, I don't understand why he doesn't know that he's Asian. I thought that maybe someone could have told him, or he would have figured it out eventually. And she said, well, that would make a really good story, but it's actually Secret Agent Man. And I was like, that does more sense in context of the song. But now I'm just going to sing Secret Asian Man because it's hilarious.
And it broke.
Okay. When you say you did it the last time, do you mean stabbing him the last time?
Yeah, but I didn't know there was more times before that one time.
Okay.
I didn't know that I had hit him.
Can you explain that to me?
You had stabmnesia? Also, does that work as a thing? Because I have some things to do if it does. If we are allowed to have stabmnesia, I have some things to do. That's Sarah. If you don't know me by now, I thought he said we only have black children. He said act like children as we turned out. Look, y'all, in full defense of my mom, I was my mom's youngest, most feral, but I was her first child. Can you imagine having a child who comes up to you and just says, why does the man not know he's Asian? And what exactly is a kangarilla? Is that an adult thing? To be fair, it was Rod Stewart, and I hate Rod Stewart, but I didn't understand it was Can't Hurry Love. I thought it was kangarilla, which I assumed was some weird and disgusting sexual thing that I would learn when I was an adult. So when I got about 12, I decided I was adult-ish, so I should know. Turns out I just don't pay attention to lyrics.
Why didn't you know?
Because I wasn't looking while I was doing it.
When did you realize it was more than once?
When I seen Discovery.
Okay. What happened when it broke?
I kind of because when all this would happen, obviously, I had felt on him,
Okay.
And I scooted back and
What wasn't it the Supremes who did the song originally, then Rod Stewart copied them? And yes, I hate Rod Stewart. Look, if your mom hated you immensely and made you listen to easy rock, soft rock in the morning to get you going. Well, soft rock basically means every fucking Rod Stewart song known to man every 5 minutes. Now, Phil Collins is great. I love Phil Collins, but Rod Stewart can go like not be here anymore. Okay? I hate Rod Stewart. Look, Maggie, and because I'm in Indiana, it was Rod Stewart and John Cougar Mellencamp, Jack and Diane. And then it was Forever Young. And you're like, fuck me sideways. More of this crap?
I like had wind on my butt and then I just scooted back. Like just with my legs, I pushed myself and I like slid back.
You said that you kind of fell on him and it broke. Can you tell me where you were sitting or how you were sitting before you fell?
Y'all, no lie, and this is why I have never been to a concert since, but my mother at 8 years old, took me against my will to a daggone John Cougar Mellencamp concert. And to see my mom getting excited for a little short man singing about Jack and Diane never getting out of freaking Indiana. Well, I have never been to a concert since because why? Just why? Look, when you see your mom screaming with her Aquanet and hairnet, all just, or not hairnet, but just the Aquanet, and y'all know those little side bangs they gave each other with the high-waisted pants and the John Cougar Mellencamp. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying that I was scarred, but I do have the doll where I showed where in the audio region the concert had hurt me.
I was like, I had one knee up and the other one was like, ow.
Were you still on the floor?
Yeah.
One knee out, like you weren't balancing on that knee?
Oh, I was.
Give me just a second.
Okay, so we have, well, this,
I'll
So,
allow that.
we're
question.
doing,
The witness
what are we
answer.
doing here? We got like
You had
one
one
leg.
knee up and you said the other leg out. Can you explain to me? I can try to do this.
I was maintaining my balance on one knee. Well, the other one was like just.
We're leaning on one knee.
Your Honor, I'll give permission for the witness to describe it. She can get down, but I don't think it's proper.
Okay, so
She can get down. Let her see your tootsie roll to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. Now dip, baby, dip. Come on now, dip.
not interested what you're giving permission for anybody to do. It's something for me to determine. Ms. Trujillo, it appears to me that the witness has sufficient.
I say God bless the clogging, just super pale white people that were doing Afternoon Delight. You have never seen a bunch of more on rhythm white people with the clogging. Look, maybe everyone needs a nooner. Maybe that's what's wrong with our society. Everyone needs a nooner every day, and then we will just be clogging Afternoon Delight. And because honestly, I thought that was a sandwich. I'm not gonna, I guess it could be. I figured it was like peanut butter and marshmallow fluff. I thought that they had just gotten fluffernutters, which, I mean, honestly, as a chubby kid, that would have made me happy too. So, Zach, you thought it was camping. I thought it was a sandwich. I was like, I don't know, but I'll have what they're having.
Really been able to answer the questions without a demonstration, so I'll ask that you just continue to proceed
Okay.
with the questioning.
So you have the one knee that you're on and the metal file breaks. I want to ask you a little bit about the breaking part, okay? I'm not going to bring it to you, but I need to see if I
No, bring her the file. Let's get it over with. I need
saw
a
this,
dummy.
There was a sharper end. Is that fair?
I believe so.
Okay. Is this the part that broke?
I think it was the other side that broke because there was like a handle to it.
Okay. So the top part here that looks curved, was that always like that?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't believe so though.
Okay.
It was just the tip. I'm going to go straight to hell now.
Do you remember what the handle was made out of or what it looked like for it to break?
Oh, the
talk about the shaft. I just need you to use the word shaft. Please, dear God, you already used the word shiv. Just make my day and tell us about the shaft.
I didn't really like get a close look at it. Like when he had showed it to us, it was like not close enough to get detailed, but I did see what it looked like. So I don't know where like the, I guess, how would I say it? Where it would stop being like metal. I'm not sure about that part.
That's okay.
I just remember seeing like the grip. I don't know if it ended where the handle or like it continued. I don't know.
When you grabbed the file from him, did you look at it, manipulate it before?
I think her defense attorney, but it's almost like she, using a bottle cap as the Dixie cup, it's almost like she does the little lizard thing, like, and then she'll put it back. Because, like, for me, that's not enough to get a drink out of. I would just already be pissed off about the small cup. So, but she does this, like, little lizard, like, we need to get her one of those little gerbil things, and she can just lick the end.
Doing something with it?
No, it was on the heat of the moment.
Sorry?
It was on the heat of the moment.
In the heat of the moment, it
What
was the
made you finally
heat
sit back and
of
scoop
the
back?
moment.
When I had realized,
Telling you where that shift needed to be. Heat of the moment, it was in the shiv. Yes, did my mom listen to all the 80s music? Yes. Do I know more about 80s music than I know current, like my own kid, generation music? Yes, because my mom saw the little, tipper gore warning stickers, and those were verboten. I almost didn't get Spice Girls, y'all, Spice Girls, because it had a warning label. Hosana was apparently going to get little Dixie cups of water in case she got tired, I guess. She was the hydration girl. I don't know.
that it broke, and I obviously did it.
Was Mr. Dickerson moving at that point?
No, no,
Do you know?
I don't know. I just kept looking at my hand and like the whole.
How about when you think about looking at his dead corpse, you don't laugh? Now, I know that the happy coroner and you have this thing, and so do I do. Look, I am telling you, you have to suss people out when you're one of these people. It's like a secret handshake. Because you need to know who you're safe to kind of joke and be dark humory with, because most people don't, react to death and trauma with laughing. But I tend to find the humor in things, and or I'm just socially awkward. So I have learned that you do like a feeler joke, like to see if they're okay with laughing at this particular time. And then you find the people that are in the corner drinking, and those are your people.
The whole thing that
Well, so the defense did make a big point to explain that she is socially awkward and she does laugh at inappropriate times, but any sort of kind of reminding people or putting that out there is not going to get you over the big giant mountain of you just stabbed a guy and you're laughing about it. Like, me making an inappropriate joke and usually being self-deprecating, that's different than, oh, and by the way, when I was looking at his corpse, he was just there. Yeah, you always have to test the waters. You do. Because you very quickly realize that you deal with things on a level of dark humor of like a 40, year veteran detective.
yeah.
Okay. I want to take a pause right here, okay? Let's go to the kitchen.
Okay.
At what point in the kitchen did you feel the need to defend yourself?
When he was in my face.
Was this when his arms were on either side of you?
Yeah.
When you left the kitchen and tried to go out the front door, when did you feel like you needed to protect yourself?
When I what?
When you went into the kitchen, to the living room from the kitchen, and tried to leave the front door, when did you feel like you needed to protect
When
yourself?
he grabbed Hosana.
And why did you feel like you needed to protect yourself then?
Because I don't know what was his mindset at the moment.
Okay.
Like, obviously, like,
You know what's weird is if Hosanna had gotten touched, do you think she would have said something? Because had that actually happened, it would make both of you look like you were doing self-defense. But Hosanna, realizing that none of the facts lined up, turned state's evidence.
After what he just did, you know, like obviously I'm gonna be very cautious, you know.
Was
She's
there
just
ever a
moistening
point
her
when you were with
lips.
Mr. Dickerson in the kitchen or the living room that you felt he could have killed you?
Yeah.
When was that?
When Hosanna came in with that thing and he grabbed it. Like obviously, like that's not the first thing that pops into somebody's head, you know. Like not a thing like, oh, you know, like my thought was like he's gonna fuck me up, you know, like I'm just gonna get beat up, you know. Like that was my like initial thought with the whole thing before Hosanna had brought that.
Why did it shift for you when she brought that over?
Because obviously, like that knife that he said he had used before, you know.
Okay. Did he ever make any motions where it looked like he was going to try to use that on you?
Well, yeah, it was in my face.
Okay. When you grabbed it out of his hand, did you feel that you had
I would like to take things that never happened in reality for 1,000, Alex, and I'll do the daily double. And my answer is, what is a fucking lie? You are a lie, ma'am. So she's blaming Hosanna and then herself. She has to admit this, but she has done an absolutely god-awful job on direct of getting anyone in the jury to understand any of her perspective. It's, you know, she's in the same body posture she's had. And again, what the defense did when the defense attorney went over and put her arm on her chest, again, just pointed out and illustrated how big Stacy is. And I don't mean that in a jab or, I mean this 100% seriously. It was a great show for the jury that he was a smaller man. This is, Stacy's on the ground, but if Stacy gets up, he is at an instant disadvantage. And I don't believe anything that she said at this point.
any other option?
No.
Did you feel that if you would not have acted, that you would be harmed?
Yeah.
That you could have been severely beat up?
Objection, lady.
I'll sustain the objection.
Did you feel like you could have been severely beat up?
Yes.
Did you feel like he could have killed you?
Yes.
Was that going through your mind at the time?
Yeah.
Leading.
Is that why you acted?
Yes.
Stacy, did you feel like you had any other options?
No.
Ask and answer, please.
I'll allow the question.
No, right? Okay. I want to kind of talk about what happens afterwards, okay?
Okay.
Do you need a moment?
No, it's fine.
So you said that you scooted back and you were looking at your hands.
Yeah.
Can you remember kind of what happened afterwards, after you kind of got out of that moment?
I just dropped the thing right there on the floor.
Okay.
No,
What
you
did you
didn't.
do?
It was
I
in
just
his
kept-
neck. You left it in his neck. I mean, I don't know if this case is hitting me more because I'm just imagining my boys being socially awkward, wanting to go out and people, not being very good at it, maybe having a rough spot in their life. And they they do something incredibly stupid, like invite random people into their house. And they have done nothing to this man, but basically, point out that he was drinking a lot, that he had, all of the bongs, made him look like a prevert, basically have called him everything but a PDF offender. So I can't imagine, and I'm sure as the family, I wouldn't sit through this part because, the judge would have to take me out because I'd be like, you effing lying Snooky wannabe if Snooky ate all the little Debbies. Like, I would be mean. I would hurt her soul. Like, I would go in for the kill. Because
He looked at my hand
Why were you looking at your hand?
because I had blood on it.
What did you do after that?
I just sat there. I didn't know what to do.
Where was Hosana?
Standing right there.
Did she say anything to you?
Not for a little bit.
Ultimately, did you get up off the floor?
Yeah, I stood up.
Where did you go?
I stood right there and I was like, just like, I feel like I couldn't even feel my body, so I just didn't move, you know, after I stood up.
How long did it kind of, if you can even answer, how long it took you to kind of start moving again?
I don't know.
Okay.
How long in this, sitting and realizing you had taken a life, did you realize you wanted to rob him too? At what point did you get unsad for robbing someone and stabbing them, and then decide to take, the engagement ring and, all of his stuff and a force multiplier you found? Oh,
So-
I definitely do.
After
Sarah, I think it boils down to they thought there was going to be an after party. Once they got there and realized this man was by himself, they looked around, saw some things they wanted to steal, and I think that they were going to assault him. They planned to either get him drunk enough to go to sleep, and then when it was taking too long and they both wanted to leave, they were done and this was boring, they wanted to go to a real after party. Stacy was the attack dog. She, went in and hit him. He probably fought back and was like, "Hey, guys, just leave the house. Like, take whatever you want, just leave. I'm not going to say anything." And Stacy probably thought, "He's seen my face. They're going to catch me. I can't leave any witnesses." That's how I think this went down. I'm not a, lesbiologist or a crimeologist or anything. I just think that's how this went down.
you stand up and you're looking at your hand, did you ever move Mr. Dickerson?
No.
Did you go into any other part of the house after that?
Yeah.
Where did you go?
So do you want me to explain the whole thing?
Yes, please.
So after I had stood up, Hosana had said, she was just like looking at me. I looked at her and like, it was like, I don't know, I didn't say nothing. She was like, kill the dog. And I was like, what? Like, all I said was wet. And she kind of was like, oh, like, and then like, I kind of just like, I didn't know what to do. And she said, we need to check for camera.
I find when I get confused after stabulating someone, it leads me to burglaring. I'm like, oh gosh, I just, felonied. I might as well more felony.
Cameras.
Did you?
I didn't. I kind of was just like, I feel like at this moment, like everything was like, I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, so she said, we've got to look for cameras. What did you do?
I just watched her for a while. Thank you.
Okay. You just watched him for a little bit, you said?
Watched her.
Watched her.
Yeah.
What was Hosana doing?
She went in the kitchen. She went under the sink.
What did she grab under the kitchen sink?
She grabbed this bottle that was like, it was like straight, but like the nozzle was like sideways.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was like I think it was like for the toilet, like when you go like that and it just.
Like the toilet bowl cleaner?
No, it was it wasn't the clean. It was like the clean solution.
Okay, the bottle of the toilet bowl cleaner.
Yeah.
Did you all talk about needing to clean up?
No, she just said she was gonna check for cameras and she started doing that.
Okay. What did she do with the toilet bowl cleaner?
She started putting it in the doorknobs.
Did she say why she was doing that?
No,
Did you try to stop her?
no, I did not.
Did you even think about trying to stop her?
No, I wasn't thinking at the moment.
These heifers did not look for cameras. These heifers were basically on film from the time they met Mr. Dickerson, followed him to his car, and then to the house. I mean, the Ring doorbell from, the Miss Kravitz neighbor was over here. Yes, we are still internet friends, I promise. But I am going to end here, and we will probably have, it looks like we will get into cross, I believe. So we will probably get into cross this evening. I will share with you guys that trying to find a really good so I will share with you guys that Mr. Mo's mom passed on last night at 2, peacefully in her sleep, which was honestly one of those sad prayers that you have to make, that she will be, peaceful and welcome home with her husband, and, in a place where she can see and she can walk and that kind of thing. So I may not schedule a stream for tonight. Mr. Mo went all the way up to Valparaiso and back yesterday. It. Thank you guys for your thoughts. I will say it was probably nice that Mr. Mo got to go up there. I will say I will keep anyone who's dealing with a family member with dementia or any sort of end of life things, because I did not realize the special kind of hell it was to know, love, and, be invited into a family by someone who has such a big heart. And she was human. She had her flaws like everyone. But to be invited, whole heart, flaws, weirdness, quirkiness, and all of my kids, is just such an everyday miracle that I think that we all were looking for that, big miracle that she was going to be restored back to health. And we forget yes, that is what she had. But it was so hard. And I know it was hard for me, but I can't imagine the extra hell it was for her kiddos to go in and her not know them. I mean, she didn't recognize me, which I was kind of completely there, but it is a bit of a shock. But she was also kind of crying out for help in her sleep, and I know that was really hard for Mr. Mo. So when he got to visit her this time, she was kind of just peacefully sleeping, and I think it was a great thing that he was able to go and have that quiet time, because I know for Mr. Mo and most guys, our guys they just want to help. And when you're hurting or when you're emotional, they're like, let me fix something. And it's really hard to not be able to fix that. So thank you guys for keeping me in your prayers. I was able to pull more pictures, so be working on a highlight reel for the family. So I don't know what my schedule is going to be. Nothing's been planned. Nothing's, I don't know. But it is, in an odd way, it was a blessing to know that she had gone peacefully and that she was comfortable and she wasn't hurting. And I hate to compare it to Fry because it's so dumb to compare it to Fry. But, she had people around her and it was just peaceful. And, we can't ask for anything more than that. And I cannot explain in words right now how much of an everyday, ordinary, but absolute miracle it was to meet a woman who invited me into her family, invited my children that I had, but was there for some of the births of, our children. And that I was there in a small part at the end of her life to make her a little bit more comfortable, even if it was just scratching her back. And I wasn't scratching her back hard enough, because with CRPS, I don't like people touching me very hard because it could hurt. So she's like, you suck. I was like, I know. Show me on my hand how hard you want me to scratch you. We got it figured out, but I felt so bad. But the thing is, this has reminded me more than anything that well, yeah, because I was trying to be all soft and she's like, you are just bad at this. Which, guilty. There are so many people in our lives that I think we take for granted. Maybe today, if there's someone in your life that has done, a lot for you, and we don't always verbalize, what we appreciate people for. So I would encourage you, if there's a person that has done a lot in your life and maybe it's kind of gone unsaid, all the things that they did for you, maybe just give them a text, call them up and say, hey, it was a small thing, but I really appreciated you doing such and such, because sometimes you need to hear it and sometimes we need to say it. So appreciate the people in your life while you have them in there. And I think that's a good lesson. And for Stacy, just come up with a better story. Damn. Like, girl, you had 2 years to figure this out. You did awful. They do, and I think they will. But, you know, while we're still here, while we have this day and it's a blessing for everyone, you know, reach out to people, smile at people. Look, Zach, you understand I'm consigning myself to go people too. You understand that I will be hurting just as we need a group of introverts on a Zoom meeting, like, hi, my name is Mo, and I don't people outside. And the rest of us are like, welcome to the Insidians Club. We don't people. Well, we're nice people when you get to know us. We just don't want to get to know you very much generally. We'd have a handshake, but that would involve touching other people. So we'll just have a call sign, like, sup. Anyways, on that note, let me see who I can send you guys to. If I have a stream tonight, I will probably put it in around 6. If I don't, we will finish up with cross-examination tomorrow. Mr. Mo seems to be just tired and wanting to go to sleep, so I may be on, you know, feral children babysitting, not babysitting, they're my kids, but I'll be on feral children watch. I am going to send you over to Sal. He is watching Judge Fletcher. So that should be fun. He has really, really cool suits. I love them. I'm telling you, if I was a straight man, that would be my suit. Have a wonderful day, you guys. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but carry a can of bitch fire, which is now a new emoji because I figured it the F out. I, of course, immediately lost all knowledge of how I did it, but I did figure it out. So I will see you guys in a little bit. If I don't see you this evening, I will see you on Mornings with Mo. We will figure this out. There's more news on Gene Hackman's death. Was it not hantavirus? Who knows? We will find out tomorrow. Bye, you guys. Was it a mouse or was it the plague?